Trev.
Yeah.
Who get June plum?
Mommy.
That June plum is orange. I want you to smell it.
But still, mommy.
Chill reaction.
Why?
I love June plums.
Just said
Why you whispered it?
Because I can hear myself.
Is it
Yeah,
orange or is it a plum?
It's orange.
No, there's
Why do you call it a
tangerines.
plum?
No.
So it's a tangerine.
No, there's a thing.
Y'all
called-
got 3 fruits right
No,
now.
it's a
Which
plum.
one is it?
We have a thing
It's a
called June
Jamaican
plum.
fruit.
Stop confusing, man. Listen to me.
He just said it's an orange.
No, it's a June plum. It's an
Uh-huh.
orange that looked like a June plum. So when I first saw it,
So a June plum is an actual thing,
yes.
but it's an orange.
No, it's a plum.
Okay, but one of y'all just said it's an orange.
It
Listen,
looked- What came out of the bag was an orange,
Yeah.
not a June plum.
Okay,
That's what the correction is.
so the June plum
There's
isn't-
none here.
There's
none
none
here.
Then what's in the bag?
Orange,
Tangerine.
Tangerine.
Okay, so it's not an orange, it's a tangerine.
That's right.
That you call a plum.
No.
No, he's saying that when he went in the bag, he thought it was June plum, but what came out of the bag was a tangerine.
Okay.
Drink some
So
water.
it's just a mistake in a fruit. Do you know you want cold water?
Sure.
Hi guys, we're back this week for the One Pop Podcast, episode 38. It's your boy CN.
Trev.
And your boy Dennis.
Yo, so we have a special interview this week. Normally I love to do the introductions, and I'm gonna go ahead because I want them to introduce themselves.
Hi guys, that's my best friend Chanel,
And that's my best friend Janelle.
and we are NelleXNelly.
NelleXNelly.
Yes.
I can't. It's awesome.
Yes, especially from the, they're best friends, and I love the best friend title, especially because our podcast is generated around my friends. Trevor my best friend, Dennis my best friend, so is Donville. So it's just nice to be in a platform where we all can share each other. Now, one of the special things this week, Janelle and Chanel have been doing their thing, and it's been inspiring. And based on their vision and journey, I want them to just give us a little step about what NelleXNelly is about, what the content is for their audience, the vision, the future, what is I wouldn't even say an end goal, but, what are you guys looking to attain by going to YouTube?
You want to take it or me?
Go ahead, you start.
Okay, so Chanel and I have always been like super goofy, especially like all the way back from middle school, high school days, and everybody is always like, you guys should have your own show, you guys should do this, you guys should do that, and we just kind of jumped into it last year.
Yeah.
And decided like, we're just gonna make this happen. So yeah, we just kind of started talking and being our goofy selves and, sharing our input on our videos on YouTube, and if people like it, then great.
Yes.
I need
And
somebody to follow me around with a camera.
Yeah, I can't even lie about that.
and I will say this, Janelle and I, this year is 19 years of friendship.
That's a nice time, yo.
I mean, of course, we're all friends here.
Yes.
So One Pop
Yes.
Podcast and NelleXNelly, they kind of come together at
Yes.
points. Like
We're in that unison vibes.
we've all been friends for years now.
Yes.
So
I'm just waiting to film commercials.
Yes, you get there, right? Getting there. No, my question is what are some of the things that you guys have on the channel so far? Like things that people can be looking forward to, because I know you guys have a lot of things that people can relate to.
Definitely.
So, just give me a synopsis of some of the episodes that you guys have, just so some of our female listeners out there can go check it out.
Well, a lot of our videos that we do, it's just first of all, I want to tell you this. Janelle and I, we are very similar, but we are also very different. So with that being said, we have two different aspects and perspectives that we kind of go with to kind of give our audience a lot of information on both perspectives of the spectrum, really.
Yes.
So some of our videos that we have done, like one of my favorites were trophy dads and deadbeat dads.
Oh, that was rough, boy.
Legit. I was sitting here running down that list. I was like,
It was pretty accurate, right?
I ain't got none of these qualities.
Like I'm winning out here. I'm
That's
winning.
a good thing. That's a good thing. And we definitely have, give me some other ones that we've done.
I mean, just recently, the past year, we're starting to get a little bit more personal, which is kind of a struggle for me, actually, because I'm a very private person. I've always been that way. And I just did a vlog for my Christmas vacation when I went to Jamaica. First vlog ever. Felt such I felt like a nerd. I'm sorry, and everybody kept having to tell me when to take the camera, and I'm like, I forgot, man. I did a video about my dog dying, which is super personal, and I was bawling down the place.
I think we were.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Chucky.
We all
No?
rest in peace, Chucky. Chucky has been around since 2003 or 4. He was old, and he's been there through a lot with all of us, including Chanel.
Yeah.
What else? We have videos. Best friendships breaking up.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah.
That was touching.
Yeah, I mean, and I like that because sometimes, I know we all are friends here. Sometimes you got to know how to pick and choose your friends your friends right. You feel me? Because like I said, I have people who I used to roll with pretty tight back in the day, and as a caterpillar, I would say evolve into a butterfly. And you go through that metamorphic phase. You start to understand like, what is really good for you. And as a caterpillar, sometimes it's good because you need friends when you're gonna be crawling around on the ground. But as a butterfly, when you go to that metamorphosis phase, you get wings and you fly. So you realize that in your part of evolution that you will attain different things. So I kind of really, really love that episode a lot.
Right. And through growth, you're going to lose friends. It happens that way. It doesn't have to be something that is, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have to fight with them. It's just a matter of you're growing and you're going in separate directions and you have different things that you value in life. And then you also have the other end of the spectrum where something happens and you fall out and you weren't expecting it. And so that was what that video was about. And we took you guys through different examples of that happening to both of us. Well, not both of us, because Chanel is just like, you toxic, get away from me.
I'm not even playing. That's me. If I see that you start to mess up stuff, like just gone, be gone.
Bug spray.
Yeah, she rated, She's like, if all cockroaches beware, you will get sprayed.
Like, yo, we hanging out the crib, want to slide through? Oh, word? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Neutral response, dog.
Yeah. But I do like the dynamics of you guys. I mean, people say,
Thank you.
Especially, and I want to use a comparison, oil and vinegar, right? People say oil and vinegar don't mix, but you want to understand, sometimes if you take a chicken and you wash it off with some vinegar, you're going to dip it in some oil and you get some fried chicken and some good food.
You're not going to season it first?
Well, I mean, I want to add that for the fact that, people come from different backgrounds.
I need you to season that first.
Well, hold on. How come every episode we talk about cleaning chicken? We clean so much food here.
Look. I'm
Jamaica.
Hey, look.
Y'all some hungry people.
Well, it's not even that. I'm going to say this for me. I don't eat too much meat, and I'll put a pause on that one. Yeah, right. Just so we can pause it.
One moment of silence.
Moment of silence. So I can say this: out of my favorite food to eat, it is chicken. I mean, especially in my household, my mom, if she was standing right here, she gets at a rate that I have her cook chicken around the house. Especially my wife. One day we're gonna start flying. So I can understand the concept, but look, it's quick, easy, and it's like, if you can't cook chicken, it's like you can't cook because there's so many ways to get it right. You just get it wrong.
For me, it's bread, dog.
Yeah,
bread comes in many forms, and it is bad for you. So
as Dennis said.
Facts.
Yeah.
Not my life anymore.
Yeah. So it's a vegan living, babe.
Yes.
It is a vegan.
Gluten-free.
Yeah.
Discuss that.
They're trying.
How do you want to go?
Yeah, please.
Hold on. You're not even eating egg?
Well, I did just recently start incorporating egg into my diet, but I guess what ultimately happened is that there was some issues with my diet. I like to consume a lot of bread.
Carbs.
By issues, she means health issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
she's being forced
So
to
you're a
take on this
vegetarian.
new thing.
Well, now I had to go gluten-free.
Yeah.
So gluten is actually in a lot of things, everything. Seasonings, a lot of stuff. So
gluten-free broccoli.
no, but
She doesn't like eat broccoli, dog. So I don't even know what no gluten-free broccoli.
Is that real?
I swear they made it up like 2 years ago. Dog.
People come with tofu.
Wait, isn't broccoli gluten free?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're vegetables, so
I was like, what? What are you saying?
A little jokey.
But I am going practically vegan with all vegetables and fruits and going more health. Yes, I haven't gotten that far as yet.
You can't even consume oxtail gravy now, right?
Yeah, no, but that's the next thing. Like, we can do meat. Meat is good, but as far as that's a lots of gout, like gout disease. So we don't want to switch from one to get something else. So. With that, I think we are going to be cutting down on a lot of the meats product as well.
So what you're telling me is you're not going to be making oxtail or anything?
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, we'll make
really sound personal.
Yeah.
No more oxtail, no more curry goat.
Food, yes, than her health.
Okay, she's lying.
Y'all know
She's going to be making
stuff,
all
right?
of this stuff for us. She's just not going to be able to eat it.
I'm not qualified to make that stuff. Y'all killing me right now. This is like my only source of getting any of that. Like. Yeah,
and I want
to start paying grill. Chin, dog. Like,
no, I know, and in retrospect, Dennis, I said my mom would cook it, especially if you asked for it. But one of the reasons why we're doing it, these are things that me and Chanel spoke about for quite some time now, and I'm not saying our back was put against the wall for it to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard because I had to watch my wife in pain. I'm not sure if people out there, I've seen people go through pains in different ways. So for me to see my wife laying on the floor, laying on the bed, screaming in pain, it was an eye opener. Not saying because I'm technically the gluten free thing doesn't really affect me. I mean, it will help my health because I feel like I'm putting on some weight, being in this happy marriage. You feel what I'm saying? But it would help my health. But if it's gonna help my health, and I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm speaking from the perspective of our marriage. We have to support each other. So if she's going to be going on this journey, she's going to need some support. So I might as well be there to support her, in this endeavor. And all this is going to do is I'm going to say extend her longevity, because I don't want her to get to 40 and 50 and then they're like, yo, she's going through these issues, or she's dealing with an ulcer. She's dying from an ulcer because of something she could have nipped in the butt in her 30s. So I'm here, it's all about longevity. I'm trying to be married till I'm 70, like Ed Sheeran said. Thinking out loud. But we're trying to get down to this part. Huh?
Ed Sheeran.
That's Ed Sheridan, right?
Thanks, babe, for being there.
I've never seen anybody upset eating oxtail, bro.
No, I mean Dennis, and Dennis
that really got me upset right
and now. No, and you're right. No, Dennis, I want to say that. You're right.
Like, I understand what you're but y'all killing me.
No, but Dennis, I want you to look at this. A lot of the things that makes you stronger also are weakness as well. We can use milk. They say milk gives you strong bones, but if you drink too much milk, it starts rotting out your bones. No, I mean, I'm not saying.
Yeah, the campaign back in the 90s is always want to drink milk.
Yeah, they used to tell you to drink milk. Now, as island people, then a lot of these things we love to eat, right? But you have people in the islands who get sick in their 50s, in their late 40s and 50s, and they really don't know what's making them sick, because we're eating these
liquor. It's the liquor.
We've been drinking a lot in the island.
All that dance hall diving off the roof.
That's all. Exercise.
Eventually that catches up with you.
That's a nice one. But what the whole idea of going gluten is not, Chanel, I think what's going to happen to her body, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm using my phrase of saying I think this is what's going to happen, is that it's going to get her body back where she doesn't have to worry about being gluten free or not. But these things come with choices. I remember once when we went to talk to your mom, because Dennis, I love griot, and she looked at me, she goes, yo, I only cook griot like once a year. You get what I'm saying? And she was saying that in the sense that griot is poor for anybody who doesn't know anybody doesn't speak Creole or broken French. I want to make sure I said it correctly, that it's something you don't want to eat all the time. So in the sense of her cooking oxtail will get cooked. It's just we're not going to do oxtail like a regular, like a typical Jamaican household where oxtail is probably cooked 2 or 3 times a month. You know what I mean? We probably slow it down. Like, these things can come in phases. Like we can cook it once every 4 months. So we can do small indulgence.
Y'all just going to do carrots and oxtail gravy or something?
No, we will cook.
He is so stuck on this oxtail.
No, what are we saying that in everything? The Bible said in everything you have to use wisdom. right? So what we're trying to do is use wisdom with it. I mean, Dennis, I'm gonna keep it real. Now I'm gonna get all spiritual on it. And if you go back to the Bible basically said we're only supposed to be eating fruits and vegetables. We ain't supposed to be eating no form of meat. Pause. If you know what I'm saying, it's just so I can pause it right then and there. All right, it says that you're supposed to be eating no meat, right? You're supposed to eat like fruits and vegetables, right?
Yeah.
And me and Chanel had this conversation, but I was like, yo, I gotta give a shout out to the first person who saw the chicken and decided to kill it and cook it. It was like, you taste good, because he set a trend for life.
That what?
And pluck it.
And pluck it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's some wickedness.
That's some work.
Yeah, that's some work, because if we can,
I'm eating good tonight.
yeah. So for anybody who technically go through that process and make that happen would know. But I want to say everything goes in time. I feel like in the process of detoxing the body, now let's get all scientific. They say your body sheds dead skin every 30 days.
No, 28.
Every 20. Thank you, baby.
Every 28 days.
And how
Teamwork.
All right. And how long in between does a woman have a period, if I may ask?
About 28 days.
So I want you to understand. So within male or female, right? Within 28 days, both body goes through a cleansing process, right? That means everything comes in phases. We need to start taking these phases in our life.
Seriously,
because if our body is actually shedding that skin, so we don't have built up skin and dirt that's going to give us more bacteria, and a woman's body is going to clean itself automatically. These are things that our body is doing.
I thought that's what that Neutrogena stuff is for.
Oh, tennis.
Y'all talking about 28 days. I'm washing my face with this stuff every day. So you mean to tell me I'm not doing anything?
No, so there's a cycle. So the same, like let's say today's the first day, right? 28 days from now, you're not gonna have the same body cells there. It's gonna be completely different, completely 100% change from top of head down, your organs, everything.
But that's why you use washcloth.
What?
That's
how you wash the dead skin off.
You ain't taking dead skin off like that.
So he basically is shaving his skin off.
Yeah, that's what he's in there. That's what you're doing.
I'm not walking out of a cocoon at the end of the month. I'm just saying.
I see Dennis is trying to get that
method.
mytho.
The washcloth is not taking off your skin; it's taking off the grime that you have on you from stepping out of the house every day. It's taking off the.
So it's not dead skin.
No,
it's not
no.
dead skin.
No, your body exfoliates, if I say that correctly.
So if I sit
unless you're sitting there like grating your skin,
ventilated all day.
Yes.
Don't go outside.
You're still gonna have that.
You're still gonna have grime.
You're still gonna have grime.
Have bodily oils.
Yes, your body sweat.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't avoid it. Your body develops oil naturally.
I mean, unless it's like a pedicure where you're literally scraping your dead skin off, like
when somebody's using that lure, is rubbing it off. So then that's why they say
something new every day.
That's why they said that in people. That's why they say people who don't change their sheets at least once a month are nasty, because all that dead skin is on your sheet. So you just sleeping in nastiness. If we should have saved that one for the ratchet post of the day for people who ain't changing them sheets.
Oh, we're gonna remember.
Yeah, we're gonna remember.
Somehow he's gonna go back to chicken.
He's going back to chicken. But it is a very wonderful learning process. And I want to say this. The reason why I can say this builds up, because a lot of things I've learned is from my wife in different things when it comes to the body and woman.
That's a plug, guys, for having a woman in your life.
Yes.
Just saying.
You feel me?
Get you a good one.
She is not on E right now. Look at her face. She's getting gassed up right now.
No, well, I mean, I'm not. It's not to just gas it up, because that's one of the reasons why from the One Pot podcast we like having our female audience being expanded, because as guys, if we're not trying to learn how to take care for a woman and understand how a woman thinks, how we expect to be with a woman. You know what I mean?
Or even just coexist.
In
the world.
And I want to say
interesting topic.
And I want to say this. When NelleXNelly talked about stuff like deadbeat dads, I use things like that for my advantage. I mean, I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna say, look, as a father, if these are things that woman, and I'm a father of 2 girls and I have a son as well. But if I'm a father of my girls and these are things girls feel, see, and go through, I want to be able to understand that. You know what I mean? Even when they did that never ever, things that I would never ever do, is like, that is facts. So, give me some things on my bucket list. Like, you're right. I'm definitely never ever going to do that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so he's talking about the never have I ever challenge.
But these are things that I can say that I've based on knowing you guys' channel that I can say I've experienced it. And that's one of the reasons why I think that would have been awesome for you guys to come on, because I feel like there's just so much that, especially from individual perspective, from the NelleXNelly that you guys can talk about, because Janelle is a businesswoman, you know what I mean? If can I say as a lawyer as well, and Chanel is
That's right, y'all. My best friend's a lawyer.
Is a lawyer, and Chanel is
got no charges out here.
bro.
You are so embarrassing.
Lawyer.
And Chanel is a full time full time mother, mother and wife. So
I'm not a full-time mother
No,
and
but I'm just
wife.
saying. No, but I'm just
She's
saying.
a working woman.
She's a working woman as well.
She corporate, dog.
Yes.
I know she's corporate, but I'm just saying.
Granted, we cannot
But
really legally discuss it, but yes, I do.
I mean,
I
I
tried
think
my
your
best.
No,
point.
we bosses at this table.
I think your point is just that you guys have a family, and
Yes.
I am still a single woman looking for a ring. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo,
No, she ain't.
Yo, free plug to anybody out there who's ready. I said, are you ready? just to make sure. But I can say, from that spectrum, that there's so much that male and female can learn from you guys, especially based on some of the things that you guys talk about, because Janelle that would have let.
And thank you, by the way, for saying that, because we are not only a female channel that reaches out to other women, but we do want men to see the video and to learn from it, because this is from a female perspective.
Yes.
And I want to say that we tend to, in our mind, we are very grounded, very intellectual women that I think is a very good source to get information from.
Yeah. I like, and guys, you know me. I'm a seeker of knowledge. Knowledge is power. Any way you can get it. A friend of mine got married yesterday. If I'm allowed to give it a shout out, so I'll hold it and I'll pause. I'll let Janelle.
We can.
Janelle,
Shout
go ahead.
out to Ro. And the new Mrs. Alzamora, Diane.
Yes, congrats. Giving him some shout outs, and I was telling him some things about being married, and if you guys realize, we listen to music a lot, especially on this channel. Trevor is musically inclined. I guess at the highest bidder in our group.
Definitely.
Yeah, me and Dennis is just connoisseurs, but Trevor's like the alpha dog when it comes to our music. He always Trevor, it's wrong or right.
I just listen to it longer. That's all.
He's just being humble right now.
No, well, it's facts.
Who dropped the album?
Well, for real, I remember when Kendrick came out. Like, listen to this artist. So, like, who was this Kendrick Lamar? Just wait. And then we're gonna say what Kendrick, and now we can go all the way back to Drake and a whole other artists before they hit their spectrums.
Speaking of which, the So Far
Gone
mixtape 10-year anniversary was what, Friday?
So that's why it was on title.
Yeah. And the whole mixtape this time. It's not that stupid album.
What was it? It was on
Do you
like
see what I'm
7
talking about,
tracks.
yo?
the first
Hey,
This
Yeah.
this one was like 14.
yeah. This is because remember, this Drake was trying to do his thing. But the reason why I'm saying that is that Trevor is the one who's always giving. I can say for me and Chanel, giving us a lot of music, a lot. In the retrospect. So for me, music has always been some defined in how I view things. Like,
Music is beautiful, and I just like sharing it with everybody.
sharing
Like,
is
when I
caring.
hear, I'm like, yo, please, someone else experience this with me.
How do you think? How do you
Yeah,
feel?
give it to
Come
me.
on.
Give it to me.
You go in that tone, the same as me.
Did you see it? Did you see
feel it?
This is true though, and that's one thing that I love about Trevor, and he's always been able to, just different genres, different eras of music, and he's just he has that air, he has that musical air. So I have been on that journey with Trevor, like, yeah, man, do you hear the cymbals in the back?
Are you taking it?
No, all right. So now, guys, basically, saying this now, guys, I'm reaching by asking this question ahead of time.
Thimbles.
Just
say it
leave me
right?
alone, yeah.
Cymbals? Is that what it is?
Symbols.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's a thing that goes on the
Are you hearing that?
It's like, do you hear the sewing in the background?
Dennis was like,
Beautiful
cymbals,
arts.
just so
It took
you
him a
know.
while. He was sitting back like, what did she say?
And it goes down his memory
I
bank.
process that.
So, all right. So, guys,
Somebody grandma upset.
this is stupid. No, I want to say I'm reaching for asking this question to NelleXNelly. what are some of the upcoming projects that you guys have for the channel based on what you guys have already and what you guys have coming out now? Now, if you guys don't want to say anything, I completely understand. But just like how Trevor has always been the one to be on the brink of discovery before something great happens, and you guys are on the brink of something great happening. Mm-hmm. So I want to just to get I want to say a peek, not the whole vision inside of your mind frame, but just a small detail on what you guys gonna have planned.
Just so you guys know, you heard it first on One Pop Pop.
Yeah, right here.
Well, definitely in 2019 we have a different vision than when we had initially started. We're still going to have our conversations and things, but we're going to begin to incorporate some different things, some challenges. You're going to see us in the streets. You're probably going to be talking to people, interacting more.
The vlogging.
Yes.
I do think that people enjoy seeing our lives for some reason. I just don't know why.
That's right.
I wanted to start vlogging.
So, it's the truth.
See, look at you getting inspiration already, bro.
Yeah. So, Janelle, she started it with her Christmas vlogging, and, I would like to say maybe I'm Janelle's number one fan. I know there's probably a lot of different people, but listen, I'm the number one contender. Okay, I'm the biggest fan.
You see how the best friend thing be rolling?
I know people that would differ from her opinion, but yeah, you take that.
You hold that.
19 years, need I say again?
Go talk to Auntie Jenny.
Oh, yeah, you're true. Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'll be there. I've been there from you been hearing these words. You got mail, like from back in the day.
But she's going to be talking about a lot of things on her channel as far as like relationships and just different things. I don't want to really say too much on that, but I think that Mr. Cornelius and we're going to be
government.
Mr. CN and I.
I'm not editing that. Let them know. We'll let them know your name.
My bad. I like
he's been CN since day one.
My bad, baby.
And he had the smile on his face that Monique had. It's like,
yeah, that's the stupidness you're bringing over here today.
For real.
My bad, babe. But he and I were planning to do our channel, our vlogging.
Yes.
I definitely.
So you guys look out for that.
I think that with this gluten-free journey that we're going on, definitely for ourselves as well as for other people out there. Because me personally, I don't really see a lot. I see meals and things like that. But as far as like going from someone that consume a loaf of bread a day.
Mm-hmm.
What?
She's dead ass.
Yeah, she eats a lot of carbs, bro.
Okay.
She loves it.
To now, that's something I'm going to have to be.
And candy.
And candy.
No, we just want to slide over that.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah. I'm going to need to know how you manage.
No, she will literally just like take a slice and start snacking on it, and then come back like 2 seconds later to the kitchen
until
and get
it's
another
all
slice
gone,
and
bro.
start snacking and go about her business. Oh, I'm watching this show. Oh,
yeah, like
eyes on the television, but she back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So no cheese, no
butter. You gotta put butter on it, right?
No.
Jam.
No.
You just
No, I want you to understand. We're talking about it's bread or water or crackers and water. She got them big. What Jamaica call them crackers?
Cuban crackers.
Cuban. Sure.
Remember the Caribbean?
No. You mean water crackers?
No. We have water crackers, but it's a bigger version that they sell. I guess
it's called the Cuban crackers.
Cuban crackers. So it's
huge.
big.
They're like this big round cracker.
Yo, and let me hit a pause when the word huge.
I can't.
All right.
Pause.
PG-13 people. Thank you. I want to be on iTunes still. Thank you. Put a fence up. Yeah.
So this part of your podcast.
This whole.
Were we still talking about food?
Yes, crackers. So she liked to eat these crackers, and we buy these crackers in bags from Walmart, not like little small packages. In each package comes about 12 crackers. 12 big crackers, just so we make sure we get that correctly. Because but the reason why I want to point it out because
you have such a dirty mind.
If you guys,
it's not even thinking dirty.
So if you guys have gotten water crackers is about
like half the size.
I have a size, right? Yeah. Of the Cuban crackers, and based on the fact that we're in the comparison of her eating a loaf of bread, she'll eat the whole package in the whole day. Like she'll go through, she gets one package, and you see her finishing it, and then 2 seconds later, you see a new package pop up, and you're like, "What you doing?" "Oh, I'm on the same package."
You're implying that I lied.
You know, and then she's no, it's and it is what it is. Then she be start munching, and then not until I'm the one who goes back there and grab the last one. I'm like, babe, 5 packets came inside of here. Where's the 5th packet? She'll be like, oh, I ate it all.
Oh, you don't even say it was the kids. It wasn't me.
You know, no, because we got to the point where those crackers is not allowed to eat by the kids. The only child that would technically try to eat it is Christina. Like Chloe don't really mess with it. Noah doesn't mess with it.
I've seen her do it too.
Yeah, and Christina follows because she realized that's mommy's favorite thing. It's like my weakness is juice. You know, I like drinking juice. I don't drink enough water. I drink a lot of juice. Now my son Noah, because he sees daddy drinking juices, he wants to start drinking more juice. And I want to say this. I guess this ties back to learning from each other. We have to set better examples. Mm-hmm. You know, so I can say if there's one thing that I've learned from you guys' channel and based on my journey is that some of the things that we can do, it can be prevented because these things have been gone through by different people. You know, that's why you guys are able to talk about that, you know, I mean, different people's experiences on you guys' channel. So I can say that's something I need to learn from before. But I want to ask you guys the question. I know you guys are talking about blogging and doing and
Did you
doing
say blogging?
No, vlogging. I'm sorry, I said blogging. Hey, look, it's my accent, guys. When you know me, yard one style. You know,
I know not blog and everything.
no vlogging. You know, I mean, I would say what gave you guys the inspiration other than from people saying you guys should start a channel? You know, those are always things. Did you guys see anybody else who was on YouTube who was doing their thing that kind of was like, yo, look, this is where I get my ideas from. These are different things that kind of inspire me to try new things.
Okay, so first of all, let me put this out there because I know it's kind of like really lame for somebody who YouTubes. This is extremely new for me, and anybody who knows me knows that I am not a YouTube person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't watch YouTube.
Okay.
So when I hopped on YouTube, it was a completely different world for me.
Okay.
I used YouTube for like music videos.
Yes, me too. I
to
can say I'm
listen to
guilty for
music
that.
in the background. I never looked at people. I'm not really. This is why I get so confused that people want to see your life. I'm not really into that. I don't really watch people's lives like that. So it's just, I don't know. It's just something completely new. And
Now,
Chanel
for
is the
me,
Yeah.
I am a YouTuber via Uncle Trevor right here.
Oh, wait, me? Okay.
All roads to Trevor at this point.
You know, he definitely showed me that there is a living life on YouTube as far as families, things that they're going through. And I began to watch like the Levine life.
Yeah.
Then I watched the Daily Bumps, the Daily Davidsons. Mm-hmm. There's these just different families, different views, things that they bring to the table that I would sit there and just enjoy watching them and learning from them and seeing their day in and day out life. Now, something on the side note, Janelle and I, we are people watchers. So we will
in real life. In real life.
So,
You heard it here first, guys.
I'm not even afraid to say it.
That's not scary.
We'll just sit there and watch people walking by. Oh, look at her. Oh, look at that dress.
Get it, girl.
That is such a cute little kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, I love people. I really do.
Law enforcement for that, right?
I'm not
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
them to get them in trouble or nothing like that. But it's just, I enjoy life. It's part of stopping and smelling the roses. You know, like if we just so are caught up in ourselves, we miss out on other people and their journey that they're going through and things that they're accomplishing. And like, to me, it brings joy. That's why I love saying my best friend's a lawyer, because she went hard in school. She put in the dedication and the time. So now that she's accomplished that, I stand with her and I'm like, yeah, my best friend's a lawyer, and what?
Yes.
You know, like I feel proud and I'm happy that she's accomplished that. So
I know where my one phone call is going.
Guys, everybody says the same thing to me, like, "Oh, you getting me out of jail?" And I'm like, "No, but I could maybe potentially get your green card. Like, I don't do criminal law. Like, maybe I know somebody though, but like,
I'm gonna need some specifics. Then.
Oh, so I mean, so Janelle, I'm happy you said that.
You don't do what?
So Janelle, we're gonna come back to that criminal law question because I have something that's been pondering all week based on what's been going on in the world. But before we get to that part, I mean, Janelle, I want you to give us a small synopsis, you know what I mean, of Janelle from the NelleXNelly.
Oh, this is like that resume question. They're like, tell me about
Yourself,
yourself. And
yes.
I'm just sitting here like, I'm a girl.
If you could be any object, what would you be?
Oh my God, that was literally an interview
complicated.
question that I got one time. Like, if you could be any inanimate object, what would it be? And I'm just sitting there like, the hell?
But tell them your answer. I think that was the best
A
one.
vase.
Apparently
this.
not, because I didn't get the job. But
They were very impressed with your comment, though.
I said a phone, but that's just because I'm nosy as hell. So I be wanting to know everybody's business. So I mean, if I could, like, my superpower would be like reading people's minds. So it just translates. Like, if I could be an inanimate object as a phone,
Worst fear.
I'm gonna be sitting there listening to everybody's conversations. Like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
You're just gonna be reaching for.
To Jay, what's
like
her name?
Orange and
P. Henson.
and all of a sudden you just
How you
gonna
pronounce
hear,
her first
like,
name?
Damn girl, echo throughout
Jerry
your head
to
from
hear-
like 6 different directions.
Taraji.
Taraji. She just did a movie about that, you know.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Reading
Oh,
guys'
yeah.
minds. Okay, so
yes.
back to the question. Who am I? I am. Oh, good night.
You went completely. I'm sorry.
That's where you got. That's where I thought we was going, dog.
And guys, one of,
Pablo out here. Come on.
He can tell the American.
Yes, we like a helicopter.
Oh,
yeah,
Pablo.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
back in the
Yeah, he went back to high school.
When you said, "Who am I?"
Yeah, I was on her page, not your page.
Yeah. She went to Beanie Man, dog.
right.
She didn't go to Peter Pablo.
Real.
Hey, I don't know what I know, man.
That's right.
So who is Janelle?
Yeah. So a very I mean, I'm not gonna get detailed. It's a very broad synopsis. I am a working woman. I'm an attorney. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am Caribbean. I'm half Jamaican and half Trini.
There you go.
I'm fierce. That's all I could say. Like I'm strong.
Fierce.
Like
Sorry,
That's
fierce.
That sounds like the ending to a beautiful poem.
I'm saying, like, I
Fierce.
just there's so much that I can say about my life.
attorney.
I've been through a lot. I really have, and I've survived. That's just me.
So, Janelle, would you mind elaborating on been through a lot? The reason why, because I know you personally. So I'm not sure how far down the rabbit hole you would like me to dig. The reason why I said dig, because you're an accomplished young lady, based on some of the wounds you actually taken as a person.
Oh God, I'm sweating now.
Yeah.
we getting personal, guys.
Yeah, no, well, and I'm gonna say this. I mean, so Janelle, you can kill me for saying this now. We're on the air, so we're gonna keep it real. I know Janelle has, as been sick, like been to the doctor, during her school times.
Okay, so for those of you, I guess, who don't know, which none of you don't know, it's one podcast.
Yes.
I have sickle cell anemia disease.
Yes.
So that was definitely a huge thing that I had to struggle with while getting where I am today. It's something that, I was born and they told me I wasn't going to live past, my 30th birthday.
We passed that.
Hell yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we're not putting my age out there, but
Government.
How old you? Like 21, right?
Yeah, 21.
thank you, Uncle Charlie.
Diamonds all over my body.
Got me.
Diamonds all over my body.
See all the face? Look at that. It's 21.
Exactly.
21.
That's
Seriously,
it's
like, you
fully
see,
hit the
you see.
train. Gotta use the right word.
No, I mean,
Stop jumping in. Let it be right. She's young.
Did you talk about Neutrogena again?
No.
It's for 18 anniversary.
Now, one of the reasons why I touch this subject, because there is a lot of young ladies out there in this world, and there's a lot of people in this world who I would say is on the same journey Janelle is on, and
Life has told them you cannot
do
You're
this.
not going to.
Yes, or you can't
cannot
make it
do
happen.
this.
Because I'm looking at Janelle, I want you to understand. Sometimes, when I catch the common flu, it takes me. I'm gonna say this for me, and I'm gonna say for me, the average person, when it takes me about 2.5 weeks to get over a cold. Right now, I want you to understand. Janelle is a lawyer. Janelle, you're talking about
carries weight. Did you
carries-
feel this? Like, yo, you said she's a lawyer. And I was like, the room was like, boom. I was like, dog.
You hold on.
Dogs walk in the room.
Yo,
I feel
that's
like-
so embarrassing.
I feel like Goku right now. We about to take them chains off, but
I feel so broke.
no, and as I want to say this because to me this is very important. This is to me the most important part about one of the reasons why I wanted NelleXNelly on the podcast, because we all have obstacles in our life, and life is never easy. And when you see somebody who has an obstacle that's harder than yours, overcome it and survive, and I'm gonna say persevere to achieve that goal, it makes you kind of think to yourself as an individual, as a human being, like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Because I want you to understand, being sickle cell anemic, Janelle had to graduate high school, which if she has had a crisis, that would have been a challenging. Now that's just a challenge in on itself. Then you're talking about going to college.
I feel like we should back up a little bit and explain what a crisis is, because not everybody will know what
Thank
that
you,
means.
Janelle.
So a sickle cell crisis is basically when you just go into extreme pain that nothing can solve except for you go to the hospital and you get morphine or Dilaudid. So a
Which,
lot
by
of
the
my
way, is like very, very, very heavy medication.
Yes.
right, yeah. So these are things where it's like your veins are constricted because my cells are different. They're not round like everybody else's, so they get caught on each other. And once they get caught in your vein, it's painful. It's like you can't unclog it. You just have to kind of wait for your system to flush it and for it to move on. But in the meanwhile, you're in excruciating pain. Like, I'm screaming down the place crying, like, God, why me? So yeah, crisis. Back to high school.
Yeah. Well, and I'm happy Janelle gave that small definition of what a crisis is, because some of all crisis in this world is that mama didn't give us money to go to school. That is our excuse. Or we may not have the cutest outfits. Then you have people who's going through real things and making it happen.
Yeah, like I literally watched Janelle, in days that she didn't want to, she wasn't feeling. I mean, through the time now, I said I've been with her best friend for over 19 years. So I kind of have an idea of what would onset a crisis, what would, it looks like, the preliminary part of it, So seeing that and seeing her go through it and, okay, Janelle, you need to relax. No, I need to go to school right now. And by the way, that also, because it is a blood disease, it does restrict her breathing, because remember, oxygen is carried in our blood cells. So to see her go through this, she's literally operating on a daily basis with half the oxygen that a normal person has.
Half the hemoglobin.
So, and not to cut Janelle, I want you guys to understand, Janelle used a word to describe herself as fierce.
Like, let's give her another round of applause, dog.
No, and I, with the round of applause, as I said, the word used for Janelle was fierce. For you to persevere and overcome, and still have the drive to strive to be great, you have to be fierce. And I think that's what you guys' channel is bringing to YouTube is different perspective, is perseverance. Because I can speak, other than from Janelle being sickle cell anemic, I can speak from what my wife has done in her own instances, for being the mother of a household of 3, right? Who has to get up, guys, to keep it real, we have to be up at 4 o'clock, 4:30 every morning, trying to get this day running. We don't get to bed till 10, 11 o'clock at night, sometimes 12.
And do remember, you have to be a wife at the end of the day.
Yes.
My husband
work's got to get put down, as you guys can know. You guys know. You guys been listening. You guys know. Seeing no playing no games. We ain't holding no titles.
iTunes. Please ignore him. Just ignore him. Guys. I want to still get paid. So please.
Thank you.
So in the sense that it's showing that you have 2 very, very, very strong women who's out here getting this work done.
I mean, I wouldn't have a best friend any less than that.
And I want to say, you guys are having it done by doing your regular job. Chanel is we're gonna say unauthorized, right? And
Going right back there.
no, and Janelle is a lawyer, but within the time frame that they have had to get their regular life together, they still take time out for for people. And if that doesn't say fierce on both sides of the fence, I don't know what does.
Facts.
Thank you.
It's like a whole like gas triangle going on. It's pretty cool.
Where's our gas? Yo, we over here. I'm gonna lower the gas a little bit because you just knocked the mark off.
That's my fault. We over here running on E. They over here just filling the dimes.
Big up Dennis right
Yes,
there.
big up Dennis.
Listen, Dennis. You a good dude.
I'll take that.
No, but Dennis, seriously though, Dennis, you are very intelligent. You our entire group of friends, including Donville. Like, that's why I love us. The One Pop Podcast, the NelleXNelly.
And then you just took it all.
Okay, well,
Where's my lights?
I need my tank full.
They say I need my clout, dog. Like, give it to all.
An artist, let me tell you about Dennis Daniels.
Yo, with the government. Yo. Drop. Hey,
I'm not editing it. I'm sorry.
You asked for her to talk about you.
It's on my Instagram. So
There you go. Yeah.
He good. When you look on Lord Shinobi, he gives you the same information. So boom.
But seriously though, Dennis, you are very talented, full of many characteristics and
Like
just
what?
geniusless.
Dennis is like,
So you
what?
need me to go down the list?
Dennis is like, tumble down this rabbit hole.
yeah, I want my clout.
See, I want my clout.
artist.
I want all the smoke.
He does. What is that, Dennis? When you talk about the airbrushing, you do your Gundams. You are just so like artistic.
Creative.
Dennis is artistically inclined.
Friend, Godfather.
Definitely.
Yo, when he get this 7 million
Fierce.
comments, is gonna be a father.
Oh god. Oh yeah, that's true though. I'm gonna share it now. I'm gonna share it. Everyone needs to go in comments on Dennis.
You're getting all the clout.
What you mean?
So when you get the 7 million comments, you can also be a father.
It's on YouTube now, sir.
Yes.
Oh God.
So all my people, look
million-
at Dennis Daniels on Facebook.
Look.
He has a post
drop my
that
Listen,
if he reaches 7 million
Yes.
comments by the end of the year, he will
I don't
make
know
a
where this-
baby.
I don't know where this kid is coming from. But
Oh, you already had some contenders.
hey,
Have you said you got contenders already?
You promised it though.
Yes, you did say you got contenders, bro.
You better pull it out somewhere.
as of
Yeah.
right now, in 2 weeks, it's at 11 grand. Now let's do math. Right now,
So,
it's still
ladies,
impossible.
I think that's
Hey,
a
I'm gonna
dare,
let you know.
guys.
I'm gonna
He's
let you know. Spring
daring
break
you.
and summer break ain't around yet, bro. People get bored during those holiday season.
Hey, y'all.
Dad's gotta shoot the
Yo,
club.
Hello, where's Trevor's clout at? Trevor need clout.
Oh, Trevor,
we've been talking
get all
about
his
Trevor.
clout.
Yeah, I'm done.
Trevor's musically inclined.
Boom, done.
Trevor get all
Tag.
the clout. You know what? Now, Janelle, one of the reasons why I told you that we're gonna come back. Oh yes, that's exactly where I'm at right now, Janelle. Best believe it. That's the reason I said I was gonna come back to the 21 Savage thing.
The ICE thing.
Well, the reason why, so we kind of have a small conversation about it last week. Normally we don't like bring the topics over too much from previous weeks, and I feel like I'm gonna be doing that a lot today. 21 Savage, Janelle, as an immigration lawyer, you know that he was detained by ICE, if I said that correctly.
Yeah.
He did get released, and he did make a couple statements. I want to make sure if anybody wants to hear what 21 Savage had to say, please go ahead and YouTube it. His interviews there. I want to make sure I give all parties responsible for their content.
Did he say anything like crucial in there? Like,
No, I mean
that's it.
Just that he felt like he was targeted,
yeah,
which I think was obvious to everybody.
yes, it was because
Especially on Super Bowl 9.
no,
And like a week before the Grammys, then he was Grammy nominated.
yeah,
He was supposed to be
he's supposed to be
Yeah.
performing. Now, the reason why I'm asking Jenna is an immigration lawyer, and Jenna, if you can just give us a small little information on what 21 Savage probably is going through or what possibly may happen.
Well, so okay, I want to clarify right now that I am not into like removal defense.
Yes,
I don't usually deal with
More about
deportation.
this job, like as this whole entire cast goes. Like,
yo, that's something you learned it from NelleXNelly today, boy.
I do deal with business immigration, so it's kind of I would be the attorney who gets him the green card based off of the fact that he's an artist, based
Yes.
off of the fact that he's an award-winning musician, right?
Yes.
Can I say something right there? Mm-hmm. So if we have any people out there,
that
artists, business, that you need your green card.
Yeah, I mean, not just artists, yes. Also people with advanced degrees, like engineers, doctors, that kind of thing. So
we mess with somebody's around here.
Yeah. If you ain't nobody,
NelleXNelly, reach out.
Yeah, but so I can't really speak on his pending deportation. I do know that it's gonna be a process for him. It's not gonna just go away overnight. I heard, because I mean, of course, I don't know his case. I'm not his attorney. I heard that he did have a pending U visa, which is a visa that you get when you're the victim of a crime in the United States.
Okay.
So I don't know how true that is. I don't know what's actually pending. If that was pending.
Now, let me pause. Yes, hold on. I want to pause on that. Now, I don't think you guys remembered, and I'm happy Janelle said that. The reason why his name is 21 Savage is based on the fact that on his 21st birthday, him and his friend was out to the club, and they got shot at. His friend died.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, and he got shot 5 times. So based on that, that was the importance of the 21.
I wonder if that's what the U visa.
Yes, that's what it for.
Again, I don't know if it's actually pending. This is what we hear.
And the reason, and that's one of the reasons why I'm asked, because and this was information I found out while he was incarcerated, while he was being detained by ICE. So based on you hearing that from me, and I'm not saying how factual it is, because we can't speak on facts. We're gonna have to use using a fictional tale at this moment. Would you think if that situation was really pending, that his friend did get shot, he did get shot 5 times, and he was part of the incident, being targeted? Do you think that looks good or bad for his situation?
Well, the thing is that if they were speaking about the U visa prior to his detention, I gotta get used to talking.
That's fine.
If they were speaking about the U visa prior to his detention, then to me it's a valid claim based off of everything that you're telling me, right?
Yeah.
He was the victim of a crime. I don't know why it was still pending up to this point. I don't know when they applied for it, but at this point in time, there are new facts to the case. So you can't even talk on the fact that he had a U visa pending, because now they're saying that he had a crime also pending, which means then that you have to go and get not just that removed, because I heard his attorney saying something along the lines of the crime was sealed and it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
But like criminal law and immigration law are completely separate beings. So whether it was sealed or not doesn't mean anything for immigration.
Okay.
By the way, everything that was sealed, it has to be unsealed. It has to be presented when you're doing your when you're filing for your status.
Yeah. So I mean, it's 2 completely different laws. So let's say you go out and you have a drug charge, and that you take care of that, in criminal court, and it's like, okay, you went through the motions, you paid your fines, like whatever you had to do in criminal court, right? Then if they bring it up in immigration court, it's a matter of, okay, well, does that criminal statute relay to immigration wise something that could make you deportable?
Yes.
So if you get something expunged, they would have to bring it back up in immigration law, but wouldn't it void that kind of?
No, because criminal court, like I said, it's completely different. So
it
wouldn't
on the criminal
be valid.
side, it's sealed, but on the immigration side, it's not. So basically, if you're on the immigration status, you need to. That's a whole other conversation.
I'm just so confused as to why he never applied for an EB-1 visa for artists. Like, I don't know. You've been here for so long. You've been doing this rap thing for so long. You're award winning. I'm so confused. But again, I am not his attorney. I don't know his situation.
But you can be.
No, 21.
Jay-Z.
She is getting nothing but straight approvals.
Cough, cough. No,
that's my best friend. That's my best friend. Yeah, she better.
No.
She better.
Copyright, boy.
No, I mean, no, I can't claim the straight approvals every time, but I do get straight approvals.
Yes.
Hey, you heard it first here on One
Podcast. Yo, she get it done. So I want, and I'm happy that Janelle spoke on this, because Janelle, there's a lot of people who's going through a situation like this. I mean, people who's credible and people who are not credible, and people just need to get educated. And the reason why I'm saying educated, because 21 Savage, on his interview, I think it was from NBC, don't quote me on the channel, he said that he came here when he was 7 years old.
Right. That was something that was irritating my entire life, because when everybody was talking about it, they're like, oh, he's fake and he's been faking his accent and he's been this. And I'm like, the kid has been here since he was 7. Like,
yes.
I mean, Chanel, when did you come over here?
Since I was 5.
Okay, so...
And I'm from Jamaica.
And you hear her accent. Like, she speaks like she's from here
Yeah.
because she's practically from here.
Guys, you heard her accent right here first. Just so we make sure of that.
First on one pot.
Yep. I don't think 21 Savage is a fake in any way. This is how he speaks because this is what he's been around. This is how he was raised. He was raised in Atlanta. Like that. I don't know. It was just irritating my entire life.
That's the same thing that goes on with me too. Because like people get confused when I don't have like that thick Haitian accent in the back. I'm like, yo, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, dog.
Yeah, we be like
954 till I die.
Trust, he has that accent. Oh my God, you have such a. Hey, I'm bringing you up. Though.
Yeah. All that clout. You getting that clout, bro.
Here,
all that
What I
clout.
have though?
Broward.
Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah,
Sunrise specifically.
Yeah, it depends. It's funny how you can tell what area somebody's from too.
Yeah.
By how they pronounce their words and everything.
Yeah. Or saying jit.
Yeah, like shout outs to my boy Darius. I knew he was a 305 dude.
Oh, you know from it.
The second he started talking, I knew he was a 305.
He hit you with that lingo.
From
Opa.
From out there, dog.
Yep.
Chanel now wants to start speaking Miami lingo, so she's asking me what she should say, and I'm like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami lingo is just basically speaking Spanish. Like, go ahead, speak Spanish.
Oh yeah, mommy.
Pero's the only word that you know.
con comer.
Well, that was short. That was short, but you heard it first here.
That's that Miami accent.
Hey, bro, what?
All right, so good. No, guys, there's one thing I want to bring on. I'm happy that Janelle and Chanel are here. I'm not sure if any of you guys had a chance to watch Monique's interview with Steve Harvey.
Yeah, I have.
You watch it, Trev?
Yeah.
Dennis, did you watch it?
No.
All right, so since you haven't watched it, I'm just going to give you a small information what happened, why she was on the Steve Harvey show. So
you got to do a little back history on why there's an issue.
All right, so I'll start from the beginning. And this is going to be from the beginning.
Story time.
Yeah, story time. So here we go, guys. From the beginning, Monique basically played a role in Precious. Precious was directed through Lionsgate. Thank you very much, Janelle. Was directed through Lee Harvey Daniels, also Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. They basically worked on that project. Precious was not slated to be a very high end movie. Chanel, how much was that movie? I think was budgeted again.
It was budgeted for $10 million.
The movie was budgeted for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually very small for a movie. To be in retrospect.
That's what I was about to say, but
no, and I will continue at that. So when Monique got offered the role to play Precious's mom, they offered her the role for $50,000.
For Monique,
$50,000, which is not really a lot of money. So, and Trev, that's all legal logistics. So
I agree with the price. I'm sorry. Like, not at that time.
Yes,
comedians wasn't getting that much money, so that's why I was like, all right. Especially we haven't seen her in much anything before in big screens with Lionsgate.
Yeah,
before
that.
So I agree she deserves her money now, but back then
the money was different. So I'm happy you said, Trev. So while I'm gonna, because I want to summarize the whole story, then we go to the meat of it. All right.
Right.
In the summary of it, basically she got paid her money, then she won an Oscar. So Monique basically felt that since she won the Oscar, her credibility was higher. All right. So after winning the Oscar came the Suncan Film Festival in France. Basically, Lionsgate and Lee Daniels they asked Monique if she would make an appearance at a festival. And I want to make sure I say this specifically. Her husband as her manager declined because they said she had personal things that she was doing, so she couldn't go to the festival. Lionsgate called back and they offered her saying, okay, well, we're going to give you a bigger room, right? Would you please go to the festival? The husband, again, as her management team, he declined, said, no, it's fine. Monique's been on the road for quite some time now. She just wants to stay home and rest. She wants to spend time with her kids and family. So on the third phone call, they call back again. They're like, we really need Monique out there. You know, what would it take to get her out to the festival? And her husband responded, well, does it come with a figure? And they basically said no, based on artistry standing, actresses. Normally, when you get paid for the movie, it should be consist of doing the promotional stuff. Trev, that was said. I want to make sure of that.
That's ugly.
Yes, I want to make.
And it's not in the contract, but it's just expected.
50 grand?
Yeah, so in the
to do all that work for 50 grand.
Yeah,
And-
Trev. So
And
Trev.
the movie did so much better than
The movie.
Yeah.
So the box office, it grossed $83 million.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
got 1% of that?
Which one? 50
That's
grand?
that's not even 1%.
No.
Thank you.
So
That's
and I want to bring it up. So basically,
Right.
so we're gonna stop right there, Lionsgate. We're gonna stop right there from at that part. So that's what happened with Monique and Lionsgate. So basically, Monique was upset, right? She felt that she deserved more, and Lionsgate didn't offer it. So when she stood up, she said no. She wanted her counterparts because she felt like she was very close friends with Tyler Perry, very close friends with Lee Daniels, and very close friends with Oprah Winfrey. So they asked Lee Daniels. He did an interview and they asked him. So you hear Monique is making a rant that she deserved more, and the reason why she deserved more, I want to add this part in. I'm not sure if you guys got, because I've been listening to a lot of interviews pertaining to this. She basically was saying that everybody thinks that when you become an Oscar nominated or Oscar winner, because she's a winner, your price goes up. But she was like, she got the recognition, she got the award, but her money wasn't getting any higher. So she just didn't feel like she was getting the recognition she needs, and she feels like artistry needs to get paid more. And based off of the situation with Lionsgate, she just feels away. So that question was asked by Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels was like, well, from his perspective, Monique was a little bit difficult to work with on the Precious project, based on the fact that she did not want to cooperate with Lionsgate to go out to the Sundance Film Festival to go promote.
Which I feel was like a flag on the plate.
Yeah. Yes.
Like you knew what was about to happen when you opened your mouth to say that somebody is difficult to work with.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You was about to take money out her pocket.
See, but the thing is, I think she'd be more easy to work with if you paid her more than 50 grand.
No, well, I mean, then there's two sides. There's the sword is two ways, and I have to look at it from two ways, because I have to look at it from. Go ahead, beautiful.
I just wanted to say, like what you're saying, there's a way in which that you can handle yourself. I think that if at that moment when they were calling her and telling her, hey, you know, come out, do these things, that was an opening for her to say, okay, well, I understood where our budget was. We weren't expecting the movie to probably do as well as it did. It did better. Now you know who I am. Can we go back and renegotiate, you know, something more, you know? And
yeah. So,
but that's like contract stuff, though, isn't it?
No, I mean a lot of it is contracting. So, and the reason why I think this was a very good conversation, because as Janelle being a lawyer as well, I asked her about this, and what she said, she was like, if Monique was legally incorrect, Lionsgate would have sued her, and I'm going to say that's facts, in a sense that we know these big corporations, we know that if they don't get their way legally, if you're attached to anything, they're going to make sure they get their money. Now, as I pause right where the situations end with Lionsgate, Monique did a stand up 6 months after this, after Lee Daniels did that interview, and I want to make sure I correct that information. She did a stand up 6 months, and then within a 6-month interview, she was on stage and she was as ranting and raving. And everybody who watches comedian or is a fan of comedy knows that's how comedians express themselves during their comedy. So she was on stage and she told Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels to SMD. That's the best way for me to put it, right, Trev?
The only way.
The only way. All right. So for them to SMD. Now, basically, at that point, Monique got blackballed in Hollywood. And the reason why I'm saying she got blackballed,
can you explain what that is?
Well, blackballed meaning that any role that she would have went out for.
I thought you saying what is SMD? I thought he was asking that. I was about to say.
Well, he was like, people, I'm trying to get paid.
So in the sense of her being blackballed, mean that nobody didn't want to work with her. Not saying she was too difficult to work with. And I want to say this, guys.
Or if they wanted to work with her and she got the contracts, it was for a pittance.
Yes, it was for chum change. Yeah. And I want to say this. I had to listen a little bit more to why Monique said she was blackballed, because at first I thought she was not getting jobs. And I've come to find out I was incorrect. Is that she was getting job offers, but the offers that she was getting was minuscule. Mm-hmm. She was getting paid basically, according to her, worse than how she was getting paid as people known her as a regular Monique. It's like her price tag went down instead of her tag going up, because you're not looking at it. And I'm gonna say this, guys. We all do business. That's one of the reasons why Janelle's a lawyer, because she went out and acquired this hefty resume that says this is what I have accomplished. So you're gonna look at me the way you need to look at me and pay me what I'm supposed to get paid. Now she's basically looking at herself like, look, I acquired all these accolades and nobody's trying to pay me, right? So after doing that, and the reason why I want to tie this part in together, in the last 10 years, those big three have dominated the African American movie industry. Mm-hmm. So
can you explain who Lee Daniels is?
Well, I mean, he's had this majority of the movies, majority of the series. The most popular one everybody's going to relate to, and this is going to be worldwide. He's the one that basically does Empire. So if anybody doesn't know who Lee Daniels is, he's the creative and directive mind of Empire. You feel me? So
that's a whole different story.
What?
I don't know if y'all remember. No, I'm not even cutting this.
No, Trevor. I mean,
there's something else with that whole Empire thing.
Well, Empire. So he's very him in a sense. Tyler Perry, who's Tyler Perry, we all know is a legend.
Everybody knows Tyler Perry.
And then we all know Oprah.
Yeah.
So basically, she basically got burned some bridges with the key holders of the black community in the millionaire bracket. Billionaire. Sorry, thank you, Trev. In that billionaire.
Don't get Oprah twisted.
Oprah. Look, Oprah. I still want my gift. Yeah, right. I didn't mean any disrespect, ma'am. I would change that M to a B just to make sure in the billionaire bracket.
That's my woman right there.
I'm sorry. I will apologize to your future wife, Dennis.
Stedman?
Yeah. I'm saying.
That man still exists.
The disrespect.
The man that doesn't have that much money as the woman was respected.
Yes. Hey, Stedman, shout out, bro. But Dennis trying to take it.
Oh my god.
I hear you, Dennis. I let Stedman cross that bridge with you. Don't burn them bridges, bro. So now the reason why this is being brought up, and I want to get to the Steve Harvey. Monique basically went to do a deal with Netflix. Now, Monique went to go do a deal with Netflix for a stand up. Netflix offered her $500,000. Monique was like, not to say anything. As I want you guys to remember, I said her husband's a lawyer. He's the one that does her negotiation. He looked at her and looked at Netflix and was like, why are you only offering her $500,000, right? I mean, she's a legend. You paid legends like Dave Chappelle $20 million. Amy Schumer, which he feels, and this is all perception, and perception is a very dangerous thing. In his perception, is not a big of an as a comedian, a drawing artist as Monique. I mean, they offered her $11 million, and when she said to them, "Well, I'm not as big as Dave Chappelle, but I feel I deserve more," they gave her an extra $2 million and paid her $13 million. So
Dave Chappelle is at 20 mil.
Yes.
Amy Schumer is at 13.
Yes.
And Monique is at 500,000.
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm. So her husband.
And by the way, Monique came out before Dave Chappelle. So you even talking about like seniority. Yeah, she should be the one.
At the same time, you have to look at the people that you're catering to as well.
Yeah,
because Dave stuff, he has his movies, and then of course his show on Comedy Central was a hit. Being on Comedy Central, you're appealing to everybody that's watching that channel.
Yeah,
a lot of Monique stuff was on BET and stuff,
which is true because she had to park hers and she had her own stuff.
Was catering to a specific demographic. Dave was catering to like
a wide audience. I understand that.
On top of that, he has more time in.
No, not in time.
Yeah, he was in
He was in Half Baked. No, but Dennis.
Monique is before that.
Dennis. Monique is generations before Dave. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a good 10 years before Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, but look at where they're planted at, though.
I mean, I would say this, Dennis. In the retrospect, Dave Chappelle, I wouldn't say he didn't blow up, but he blew up in the 20th century.
See, yeah, that's the main issue.
Yes, go ahead, Trey.
There is difference between legendary and legacy and clout.
Yeah.
Chappelle has clout right
He does.
now.
He does.
Monique got more legacy.
Yes.
Legacy is not making that money.
Yeah.
Right
It is
Until
clout.
now.
But would his count as clout or legacy though?
You know,
This
it's clout.
is
Because
clout.
his show is
No, Dennis.
legendary.
Yes.
Dennis.
Clout.
I'm gonna tell you this from a business standpoint. Dave Chappelle's resume is not even half Monique's resume. Remember, Monique is a queen of comedy. Dave Chappelle is not even good enough to be the king. Not to disrespect Dave Chappelle.
No, he's
Yeah,
a
but
great
he
comedy.
does-
He's a great comedian.
I mean, he does his stand up.
Yeah.
He has sketch comedy.
Yeah.
Which, as far as I'm concerned, he was the best one to do it.
What-
Because you have people like Carlos Mencia and a couple of other people that would jump in and they tried to do the same thing and they weren't even half as good.
No, and so I would say this in the pioneer of sketch comedy, Dave Chappelle is iconic in the sketch comedy because, but Dennis, you're talking about something that came in the 2000 generation.
But my point of it is him catering to that broad perspective. When they go and they put his name on something, they're gonna watch it because they're automatically going to assume that it's funny, and that's white, black, Spanish, Asian, etc. Like all
Okay,
of
so
Yeah,
that.
no,
I want to
yes.
ask a question.
Go,
so I hear what you're saying, and so assuming that your perspective is correct, right?
Mhm.
And Dave Chappelle is worth 20 million. Do you think that Monique is worth 500,000?
I don't think she's worth
I
500,000.
believe she's worth
I honestly don't think.
Sure,
10,000?
10 million.
Oh.
10 million. No,
Like,
sure.
I would,
See,
I would
this
put
is,
it- I
this
would
is what
put
I
her
wanted
in
to
the
like
bills.
cut through
No,
the smoke.
I would say
because-
she's higher than Amy Schumer, and I would say she's
Oh,
to me, but
listen,
she's lower than Dave Chappelle.
I'm not
I
even a
would put her
fan
in the
of
millions.
Monique, and I think that she's higher than Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
Right, this is how I would put it.
Who's Amy?
Hey,
No, Chanel.
Like,
No.
I honestly think they lowballed the hell.
Yeah,
out
this
of
is
her.
what I'm saying.
But
Like, I'm trying to
as
cut through the
far
smoke
as-
because everybody is talking about like, oh, well, she's not worth this and she's not worth that. But is she worth what they paid, what they wanted to pay her? That's the
No.
entire point of
No.
the whole like
No,
ordeal.
No, I want to throw this to the ball in there. I don't know if you guys know who Wanda Sykes is. Wanda Sykes is another comedian, another legendary black.
Yeah.
You know how much Netflix paid her for her special?
How much?
$200,000, and she is a legend compared to Amy Schumer. And the only reason why they found out that she got paid $200,000 is because Monique made a rant about the Netflix thing, and she was like, "I'm gonna keep it real. Not saying we're not supposed to discuss how much money we got paid, but this is what they paid me. So if you didn't really come to the forefront,
Why weren't they supposed to discuss how much money they
The
got
same
paid?
way that is at work.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. Just to
But
let
you're-
everybody know, because I
Yeah.
feel like everybody should be informed here.
We'll tell.
You are allowed to speak about your income.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
actually like
Lawyer.
You heard
No,
it
no,
first
no.
here, One Pop Podcast.
yes, yeah,
no, this is something that they've done to make sure that people are not like the wage gap. It ends. This is something that there are bills about. President Obama has actually
Yeah.
done stuff on it. No, like you can talk about how much you make.
yeah."
That annoys the crap out of me.
Lawyered.
No, I mean, and it
Well,
is.
since we can talk about it now, I'm playing.
No, but Janelle, I'm gonna say this. You're completely right because even at work, I mean, we're not technically supposed to discuss our wages because that's work policy, and management will say that to you.
No, it's not. They're not supposed to have a work policy that says you can't speak
No,
about
and
what you're
that
making.
that is correct because what they're doing, they're not leveling the playing
They're
field.
not paying people what
What
they're
they're
worth.
Yeah.
Right.
And
know?
not only that, but then when you begin to speak to your coworkers about what's going on, like what are they saying to you and everything, it's like the people versus you. We see what you're paying us or you're not paying us.
That's
and-
how people get away with paying people less than what they deserve.
Yeah.
And that's how people get away with paying men more than women.
Yes.
Because nobody is talking about how much you make when you're entirely allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm
As
happy.
well-
I'm
as
happy
well
you
as-
said that because I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying DL Hughley is not funny to me. DL Hughley is no. I'm just gonna say. I want to say Dennis. DL Hughley is not as funny as to me as a Cat Williams. I think Cat Williams is way more funnier.
Yo,
That's-
D.L. Hughley, Shocked and Appalled is my favorite stand-up.
I'm not saying, but I'm.
Stand up for your mans and
Then that's right. That's right.
Yo, like,
You're right.
yo,
But Dennis, hold on.
I personally think he's hilarious, but he caters to me.
No,
Like,
Dennis.
his com-
No,
his
Dennis.
comedy-
Hold on.
his
No.
comedy
What
style-
audience? Let me. I want you to answer this question before I say these things. What audience would you say DL Hughley applies to?
I mean, he's a king of comedy.
He's a
Hold on. Stop.
king.
I just said Monique is a queen of comedy. I want to add those two parts. What audience would
And
you say?
by the way,
Wait, hold on,
she was
Chanel.
the funniest one in her whole.
So how much were they paying him?
We're gonna get to that, Janelle.
No, I want to get to
No,
it.
we're gonna. I want Dennis to answer me this question before I answer this. What you just said? Dave Chappelle covers both audience. You and I both know DL. You don't cover both audience.
You sure about that?
He's standing up for his man, CN.
Who does D.L. Hughley apply to?
If you follow D.L. Hughley is predominantly Democratical,
Black
right?
America.
And he does not. Whenever you listen to D.L. Hughley talk, he's very pro-black. D.L. Hughley has never been somebody
He's very pro-black, but you gotta understand there is a lot of other people that find that to be hilarious. It's not just us
Sure,
that
but
listen to
but
it.
as far as going on Comedy Central and putting on a Dave Chappelle, who
he's not on Comedy Central.
anymore.
No. D.L. Hughley is not on Comedy
No,
Central.
I'm saying Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go on Comedy Central, you look for Dave Chappelle. He has on white mask and he's pretending
That's
to
sketch
be
comedy though, baby.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like that's those are the things that white America tends to really gravitate towards. They're not going to sit here and really sit there and listen to a black person talk about their struggles and how it's hard and X, Y,
They
Z.
actually do through comedy.
I'm not saying that
Because,
they
like,
don't, but
that's-
it's
that's
not.
That's why the stuff
I
is
feel
so
like we're having a
entertaining
debate
for them.
about who's funnier.
No,
I just want to get to the money.
Let me add my point here. Who's paying these people? Netflix? Netflix only caters to social media area people. All the other people are not social area people. Until, see, Dave Chappelle worked his way into the social media area, doing his tours, doing
Okay, so that's why
things
you said he
there.
has a
That's
problem.
why I'm saying.
So now let me say
making
this.
that money. Right?
No, I'm happy you said this. D.L. Hughley got $20 million too,
As Dave
as
Chappelle.
Dave
And you
Chappelle.
gotta also add
No,
in.
he's
Y'all not
very
talking about him on
active his
CNN
social media
too.
No,
right?
I'm
And
not.
on the Breakfast
Yeah,
Club.
I want. No, D.L. Hughley.
D.L.
D.L.
Hughley is
Yeah.
extremely active on his social media.
I'm not finished yet.
Okay.
And he's an activist.
D-Rail Davis.
Mhm.
D-Rail has clout. So it's D-Ray. Sorry, D-Ray has clout. D-Ray got paid $12 million for his stand up. Cedric got 20. So
Like I agree that she deserves
more.
But I do think that if they're not paying you, someone else will.
Yeah. Well, Trev, I'm gonna say this based on what it said. A lot of people, I think a lot of people is missing, and I feel like Monique is right, but sometimes what she did hurt her. For her Netflix, I stand with her on Netflix. And what Netflix did to Monique is wrong. She should be fighting that. What they're offering her as a legend and as a resume, because Dennis, I can roll down Monique's resume. Remember, Monique was part of the era of the Parkers. That's her show. You feel me? The Parkers was before Steve Harvey had the Steve Harvey show.
Yeah, but the Park was before social media.
It was Trev, it was before social media. But I want to say Monique has had a very extensive resume. I'm not saying she deserves as much as Dave Chappelle. I'm not saying she deserved 20 mil, and I'm not saying she should have never really got offered $500,000. But
She should have got a couple mil.
they should have gave her more than $10 million. But I think what the bigger reason here, the biggest purpose of this and the biggest looker on it is that we have an equality issue. Because this is what Netflix said, Trevor, and I'm happy Trevor said Netflix looks as clout. When Netflix addressed Monique's husband about what it took for them to decide how much money they will spend for their artists.
What is that?
I think it's
That's a helicopter.
Yeah, probably a helicopter.
It's like somebody driving by in your apartment.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I'm not even
Y'all
saying.
over here dropping government
Yeah,
names
you
and
see.
stuff. I would
Yeah, so so this
is in your apartment, Dennis.
So
yeah.
so wait, hold on. What Netflix said is that they're paying Amy Schumer based off how much seats she's filled in the last year.
Wait, so Travis.
Trevor.
Y'all both. No, Trevor.
That's a new one.
Trevor, I'm not too into social media. So how much quote unquote clout does Amy Schumer have?
She
Let's
has a lot
No,
of
she-
millions of
yes,
followers.
yes, she does.
She's active on her social media. I'm not saying I follow her.
No,
'cause I don't
and
like
Trevor,
her.
and you know what? When Trevor says she has clout,
Stop it! Stop.
so wait.
Show her picture.
Her.
Yeah.
She's been in a couple movies within
She's
the past
been-
5-6 years.
Yeah, well, no, well,
she's been in movies and she's had stand up.
no, she's had stand
Oh,
up.
you were
She's
dead
funny.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
Homegirl is funny.
I thought she was being funny. Like,
No, you can tell she was.
Yeah, she don't know who Amy Schumer
who
is.
is Amy?
No, but
I'm
you know,
like,
I'm
stop
gonna
dissing
say,
the girl.
I'm gonna say the
Now,
difference,
like,
the difference between Oprah.
She's got clout right
No,
now. I'll give you that.
Dennis, she got clout right now. The difference between Monique and Amy Schumer in 2016. Amy Schumer went on tour. She went on a tour. She basically was like, yo, look, I'm going to utilize the social media thing and promote my comedian. So she actually put an interest. So yes, in that 1 year period before the Monique thing happened, she did gain a lot of clout.
Okay, so Monique needs to just gain clout.
That Monique needs to get clout.
But
from
you know,
from that.
If you want them to pay you, you got to get popular out here.
Because it's streaming revenue, because they're basically looking at what people think they're going to be streaming through Netflix. Mm-hmm. Probably that's how Netflix is viewing it. But I want to. The reason what happens is so this is what happened with Netflix. Now Monique management team was like, look, you're not really offering my client enough money based on what she's worth. Like, you're telling me for one, they're telling me the reason why and this is what they said the reason why they paid Dave Chappelle the way they paid Dave Chappelle, and I want you guys to hear this. Trevor, they didn't say clout. Netflix didn't say that. Netflix only used the seat thing for Amy Schumer. They said Dave Chappelle is a legend. That's the reason why they paid Dave Chappelle that money. So you see,
Dave's stuff is always on Netflix though.
Dennis, I want you to hear the key word.
So Dave is a legend, but Monique isn't. Wait,
and Jenna, I'm happy you said that, because when they got off the phone with Monique, they said, we respect Monique. We love working with Monique because she's a legend. And Monique was like, she was appalled by them saying that, because it's like, you're telling me you're paying Dave Chappelle $20 million because he's a legend, and you're going to call me a legend, but pay me $500,000. Mm-hmm. She just felt insulted. So they didn't go down the timeline of what Dave Chappelle did. Now, the reason why I went down the Dave Chappelle rabbit hole, because I wanted to know what Dave Chappelle did in the last 2 years, why he got that clout. And Trevor was right, because what Dave did, Dave resurrected his career. Dave went on underground tours. So he did.
He has 2 stand-up specials on Netflix.
No, before that, those stand-up specials were filmed before he got the Netflix deal, just before it. So I can clarify that for you.
His show is still in circulation.
No, wait, Trevor.
His show came out when I was in high school.
So I want you to understand, Dennis. Dave Chappelle shot his Netflix special out of his pocket, and Netflix paid him back for it. But the reason why I'm saying that, Dave went on an underground run. He went a 12 city tour, and sold out everything.
Based on what?
Based on his career. Dave Chappelle.
There we go.
His history.
His history.
Now put it this way. Now let's say you have both of their specials. Both of theirs. You have Monique, and then you have Dave's. They come out on the same day.
You're doing personal preference.
It's not.
It is personal preference.
See, but that has a lot to do with it as well. You gotta look at that.
Well, all right. So
at the end of the day, it's a business. Which one of them are you gonna make more?
All right, I'm gonna say
that aspect.
I'm gonna say this.
Like I said, I agree. She got underpaid.
All right, I'm gonna say this. This is for me. I didn't watch a Chappelle show to the 3rd season because
I still haven't watched it.
And I want you to say this. I'm gonna tell you why. Because where I was coming from, there was a lot of racial diversity. So what Dave Chappelle was doing in that moment, to me, wasn't funny.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna keep it real. The R. Kelly skit.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
And I want to pause on that one. That's the only thing that Dave Chappelle did. I think that was in season 1 or season 2. Don't quote me on that one. Right? Where that made me look at Dave Chappelle stuff. Yeah. So when Dave Chappelle had that Chappelle Show cloud, that didn't really catch me, because he wasn't funny enough to me, because what he was making fun of wasn't real. And he shut down the Chappelle Show based on the same feeling I had. Because he was like, I'm shutting the Chappelle Show down because all these people, these racist people, is making me get more racial. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And that made me feel uncomfortable.
It went from him like writing his skits to them wanting to write it for him.
Just let me correct. Dave Chappelle did not write any of his skits. His skit was written for him. Sorry, Trevor. Yeah. He writ with, because basically he was part of this group that was writing these skits, and he was like, at first he was coming in, it was like, yo, we were just making fun of people. And he was like, it got to the point where it got so racial. He's like, yo, he came in and the skits were being pitched, right? And everybody was laughing around him, and he's looking around like,
and by the way,
that wasn't funny enough for me.
But not only that, but majority, I think all the team, the way in which he has explained it, were white people.
Yeah.
So you have these white people telling him as a black man to do become a Ku Klux Klan member.
That was a very big one for me.
And hate on your black people and call them XYZs. And it was so funny for him. And that was the one that made him feel so uncomfortable. And that's the one when I go to work.
Season 1?
Yeah.
That's
Dennis,
the one.
I want you to understand. You see what you said was very important. More white people watch the Chappelle Show than black people.
Exactly.
Because I can tell you, in Jamaica, Dave Chappelle Show wasn't popping like that.
And
it was not.
And when I go to work, everyone will look at me, white America will look at me and tell me, hey, you remember the Dave Chappelle Show and XYZ?
Yeah, they love it.
And I'm just like, no, I never watched it because...
See, now I'm happy y'all said that. Because now look at the two trending shows that were back there when that show was out, was the Chappelle Show and the Boondocks.
Yeah, very heavy racially driven movie.
You have people that can't talk about that kind of stuff that are watching that
like
for
me,
their
because
source of
information.
Yeah, but then
I'm just looking back and forth at y'all like, oh, that's what happened because I ain't never watched this.
The Boondocks was very racial.
You never watched Boondocks?
I watched the Boondocks. I watched a couple episodes of the Boondocks.
I know the character of Huey just because Regina King was, and like big up Regina King, but like I've never watched the show ever.
You need to take
the Boondocks is good. The Boondocks is pretty.
I think I only watched
my favorite is a pimp named Slipback, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's because it's Cat Williams.
Hey, you know that's my guy. You see, Dennis say he's standing up for his man. Cat Williams, you my dude.
Okay. But like you see right there, that's a platform too.
Yeah.
That show, they ran through everybody.
So now let me ask you a question. So who do you think has more clout out of all three of them?
What three?
I'm gonna name three: Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, and Monique.
Who has more clout out of all three?
Yes. Who do you think has more clout?
So we're including negative clout too.
Yeah, it's clout regardless.
If you include negative clout, I'd say Cat.
So you think Cat has less positive clout than Dave Chappelle?
He fought a child and lost.
All right, so we're gonna go back. Yes, then he did fight a child.
I was waiting to see if he was gonna try to defend that.
No, but I want you to understand.
He's still my dude.
On the social media platform, Cat to me, I would say, and I'm just gonna say personal preference. I want to throw that one out there.
And on top of that, I'll give him his positive clout off of being on the first episode of season 2 of Atlanta, because that was an amazing episode.
Yeah, but then so let's go back to the end. Let's go back to the very beginning of the internet era. What comedian dominated the internet in the beginning part of the era?
Dominated at the beginning of which era?
Of the internet era of the 2000s. Which comedian would you say dominated that era?
Of the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Cat Williams.
Every day I'm hustling.
I don't even know where that came from.
Hustling. That was just a Pimp Chronicles. What, 2? We can go back to the Pimp Chronicles 1 and 2.
Let's go ahead and.
Well, for first, define what's the beginning of the.
We're gonna say in the early 2000s, Trev. We're gonna go back to the 2000s. What comedian was dominated the 2000s?
I don't remember.
No, you're talking about
that's
LimeWire, Netscape,
MySpace these days.
We're trying to download shows and
yeah, shut up. Sure, we don't LimeWire.
Yeah,
we don't support them.
No, not at all.
Because the first Pimp Chronicles came out in 2006.
Okay,
so that's not early.
When did the Chappelle Show premiere?
That's a good question.
That's the 90s, right?
No, I think it's a 2000. It is a 2000.
Oh.
But
Chappelle Show, we got Sketch Comedy, IMDb, 2003.
So a 3 years expansion. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I think Dave Chappelle made a habit.
It ended 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did only 3 seasons because the third season he didn't even finish the third season. He did like 3 episodes in the third season. And he walked out the show. Mm-hmm. So it was Charlie Murphy. God rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's brother. And I forgot my other guy's name. What his name right now? Don't hate me. I'm still a fan. All right, they're the ones that basically did the Chappelle Show after Dave walked off the third season.
They showed the sketches that they were allowed to show.
Yeah, and it was basically the ones that they were a part of.
So it was the Chappelle Show lost episodes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's how that went.
All I know is Monique ain't worth $500,000. That's
no,
all
she's
I
not.
know.
I mean,
that's
her,
all
her
I
net
like.
Her net worth is $13 million. Like you gotta pay her. You feel me? Like she's worth something. Right?
No, I'm gonna say this. She's not worth $20 million. I'm gonna say Trevor shed the heaviest light on this thing.
I'm not gonna put a worth on the woman, but I'm just saying it's not 500,000.
It's not. No, and Janelle's right. It's not something like 500,000. And I'm gonna say this based on Monique's body of work, right? It should have been. It may not have been a Netflix $20 million, but they could have offered her somewhere about then, because Monique's standpoint is the same seats that Amy Schumer sold out. She sold them out too. She just didn't do a stand up show, a special before she did.
It's a comparison of back then and right now.
It's also a comparison of who's actually filling them seats too. Okay, Monique is filling up with nothing but over 30-year-old
That's correct.
people.
That's correct.
Chappelle and Schumer are filling up from 18 up to the 20s, and they're more.
That's why I don't watch them.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I
it's
get it
like
now.
that's why I'm saying they're the ones they want to cater to. Yeah. It's not really the older heads.
Yeah.
But
that's so rude. Like, I be on Netflix like crazy. I'm not 18 to whatever.
Yeah, true.
Like,
but they thinking
that's a smaller demographic of people versus that other small group
because
who's Netflix.
We're the generation. We're coming from a generation of who actually watch television.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
they want to cater to people that watches internet, which is as back to the YouTube that you didn't grow up watching. There's people that live on YouTube and says, "Oh, you saw that funny video from yesterday? That was crazy.
It was trending, man."
You have Chappelle's show come up in a conversation, and then let's say you say that you never watched it. Somebody's gonna pull out their phone and they're gonna pull up their favorite skit and they're gonna show it to you. And somebody else. Oh no,
I've seen skits from the Chappelle show. I've just never watched it.
That's the thing, though.
I mean, I've seen the Tyrone thing.
Yeah.
I've seen the my couch thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you say, "Hey, you saw
True Hollywood Stories,"
when you say, "Hey, you saw the Parkers episode, this is premiere on BET the other day," and said, "Oh no, I missed it. Oh, you gotta go to your television and go watch it because you can't pop it up on your phone at that time."
Yeah.
So that's why crowd kind of old ways with Netflix
now,
crowd is more important.
Because we're in that generation.
You gotta look at the type of energy that's behind all that stuff too. Because if you sit here and you describe the beginning of a Chappelle show skit from that show, I'll tell you exactly how the whole thing ran through. You feel me? Because it's embedded in my head.
Haters want to hate.
Entertaining to me.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah. That's my favorite one. I'm sorry, guys.
You're talking about when him and Charlie Murphy were dressed up in the pimp suit.
No, I'm talking about that's R. Kelly, dog.
Stop, don't even.
Haters gonna hate.
Love is wanna love. I don't really key on none of the above. I wanna. We're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. That's that Kelly version.
God, he almost said it.
Yeah. No, but it based on the Monique thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, based off of everything that you guys are saying, okay, I can see that, maybe she's not 12 million, maybe she's not 20 million, but I just wonder what is behind the fact that she got offered 500,000, because she's saying oh, they're racist, they're sexist, they're whatever.
Yeah, gender bias. She said gender bias and race bias,
right.
And
also that was the first offer, and they bugged out off the first offer instead of saying let's counter offer with this. No,
and I think she should have done that.
Exactly.
And that's what I watched the interview and I watched Whoopi Wilbur's book.
But wasn't that a part of the interview? Is that she sent it back and said, "No, this is too low for me," and they were like, "Oh no, we're not offering anymore."
Basically, what Trevor said, Janelle, and Trevor is right. The conversation about Dave Chappelle's money or Amy Schumer's money should have never been in the conversation. What they should have did before was basically, well, I don't think this is sufficient enough. They should have never brought another person's pay grade in there and was like, look, this. I feel like we're more than this. But what I want to say, Trevor, and I want to put this in there. They kind of, what her husband asked was based on what is why you're offering Monique this amount. And if you're offering Monique this amount, on what basis did Amy Schumer come in for you to offer her that amount? And I think it's right in both sense, because technically people is not supposed to talk about their money, but sometimes if you don't talk, you don't know what's being paid or what's being worth. Now, the reason why the Dave Chappelle, the D.L. Hughley, and everybody money came out is because Netflix was proud when they paid Dave Chappelle $20 million, when they paid D.L. Hughley $20 million, when they paid Cedric $20 million. They were the one who came out and was like, yeah, we got this special. We got them locked in, $20 million deal. Woohoo. Look out for them on Netflix. So, you know, a lot of them was like, yo, even Dave Chappelle was low-key mad because Dave Chappelle got a couple specials. So if we want to come in retrospect, Dave Chappelle made $150 million off Netflix. Mm-hmm. So we can just go and see that. And that's how Dennis was like, Dave Chappelle has so much specials on Netflix because he's pumped out enough specials where that's how much money. So a lot of people
maybe that was also in the contract.
Maybe. No, Chanel. And a lot of people kind of looked at Dave was like, we're proud of you because you turned down basically, I think $80 million for season 3 of the Chappelle because you thought it was racist. But look at you now. You revived your contract and you made $150 million off Netflix. You feel me? So you did the right thing by turning down season 3 because you thought it was racist, and the Lord saw what you did and blessed you appropriately because you stood up for what you thought was right. So look at you, like, yay, go Dave. You feel me? And Dave was like, yo, we should have never really put out that I make like all this bank. Like, thank you for Netflix for letting people know that I got paid.
All you did was create a situation for him.
It created situations, and now when you look
I forgot who else he started beefing with over that time.
A couple of them.
I think Cat went at him too.
Yeah, Cat went at him because during that time, Cat did America something. I forgot what it was called. Right?
The 2018 comment.
No, but Dennis. No, but Dennis. That's the one he did in Washington. That's when Cat. That's right. Right before he fought the kid and he started on his decline, right? And Netflix basically paid him $5 million for his special, and he was like, "Yo, you pay me $5 million?" And Dave just making his comeback.
He got $5 million after he fought a kid.
No,
yeah, right before the kid.
Right before the child.
Right before the child.
I mean, still though, he got $5 million, and Monique is getting $500,000.
Yes.
So I don't know.
That's what she said. Gender bias, Janelle, and race bias. Because she's saying gender bias because she's.
But then it can't be gender bias if Amy Schumer is making.
Well, yes, she's making less as a white woman to black male.
Yeah,
so
saying gender and race bias to black women.
To black women. So she's getting less money because she's a woman and less money because she's black.
So do we feel like this is accurate? Because
I feel it's accurate.
According to, like, just based off of the whole Amy Schumer thing, not Chappelle.
Yeah.
She is what we call relevant now. Because for the past, like, 5, 6, 7 years, she's been in movies. She's been in specials. She's been catering to people.
Yeah.
Her name is in circulation.
She sold out arenas.
Yes.
Exactly. So if you sit there and you slide,
I'm telling you, 18.
But Dennis, I'm gonna say this. I want to say this. Wait, hold on. But I want to say this now. Wait.
Hold on.
To certain people,
like when you have stuff like, what you pointing at me for?
Apparently you like her, so we need to know.
I'm saying she's pretty funny, and her movies are entertaining too. You feel me? Like, granted, once again, I haven't seen Monique should have been paid more.
Yeah.
But Amy has a platform that she's on right now.
Yes.
You feel me? So you can't roll up on her with something like that. It's laughable. She could turn that down herself.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say,
what was the last project Monique was in?
The last ever project Monique was technical on was her own. She had the Monique show. That was, she said she had the Monique show.
She was on a movie too.
She was on which movie?
What was it? It's not this Christmas. It's something. It's like Christmas.
Oh yes, you're talking about the one with Donald Glover and all that.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, where he was.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was
4 or
5 years ago. So all right. So I'm gonna say this. This is what happened.
That was catered towards black people.
Yeah. Well, let me say this.
What was that?
Wait, hold on. I want to say this because Monique has an extensive thing that's been going on with her. Yes, baby. I see you over there, dog. You good? Yes, for real, yo. In the sense that Monique got lowballed, and this is why she's blackballed in the industry. Based on what happens with her Lionsgate situation, right? Kind of forced a lot of production companies to not want to work with her. That's why she said she got blackballed by them. Now, that's what kind of stunted her career the last 8 years. Probably why she's not filling the seat as much. Now, the reason why I brought up the whole Monique situation because sometimes there's different ways to go about things.
Yes.
You know, and I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna tie this into old Jamaican saying. Sometimes you have to kiss A before you can ride it, or kiss a horse before you can ride it. You know, Jamaica we use the bottom as another reference, right?
You can say that. It's
Oh,
PG-13.
it's PG-13. Well, you got to kiss ass before you can ride it, right? That's a very old Jamaican saying. I'm not saying Monique need to kiss Lee Tyler or Lee Daniels, but to get what she was want. And she was completely right for standing up for what she believed in.
No,
but
I will kind of say it different. She should fight the good fight, but fight it the right way.
Yes.
Like,
but I want
channels you got to go through and say, hey, come on to my side. Yeah, you went after Oprah.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. What?
But I can't exactly agree because then when you're talking about how people should go about it, it's the same thing that they did to Cap. Like, you try to tell him how he should fight the fight. Like,
yes, that's true.
You shouldn't tell them that. Like, even when you're talking about bringing up the salary, like, oh, well, why are you paying me this when you're paying this person that? Like, I feel like that is applicable to any profession, even if it's show business or not. If I'm a teacher and I'm making 10 grand and I find out that somebody else is making 50 grand, like, I'm going to look at them and be like, well, why are you paying this person 50 grand? We have the same qualifications. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying they have the same qualifications, but I'm just saying, it's an argument that you would bring. So I don't agree with telling her how to fight the fight. And
Jenna, I understand because it's hard to know that you're worth something and you want somebody who's, that your accolades is not even a stool compared to your whole ladder. You know what I mean? It's like, yo,
been there.
And then these people are making more. But I think there's a moral to this story, and the moral is sometimes you got to learn. You got to think before you burn your bridges. I'm not saying what Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah did was right. The way how the Monique situation did with them did hurt her. It was wrong, right? And I want to say this: Monique was wrong for telling them to SMD.
I think she should have sued at the end of the day.
And I'm happy Janelle said that. She could have sued because, well, I mean, based on the legality, and it's hard for us to say that because we really don't know what's in the contract. But based on
it's
what...
not about the contract. It's about what he went on national television and said.
She was hard to work with. Because
you knew that was going to dig into her bag. She should have sued.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I believe that that's also the next thing. It's like, it's how you go about things. I think especially in today's society, we're so used to, in a sense, I'm going to go a little bit biblical, being in our flesh. Mm-hmm. You do this, I'm going to come back at you and say this, rather than either using my words properly, maybe doing a rebuttal and saying, okay, maybe you need to pay me X, Y, Z. Allow them to tell you no. And then, you know what? Go about it the legal way. We have to walk out of situations with our head held high in a lot of it, and I believe like what you said, her selling
they foot put on their neck for one of those situations. Megan Fox. Megan Fox. She went at Michael Bay.
Yeah, she
disappeared.
Yeah,
and see, that's part of the problem. I feel like you tell people that they can't attack the people who are in big places because then they'll disappear, and that's exactly what people were doing to Kat.
Back to what she's saying. It's how you go.
Yeah, because
guess what? At the end of the day, Cap went about it, in my opinion, in the right way, and he got a bag out of it.
That's a totally different situation, though.
But it's essentially the same thing. You're fighting for inequality, and you're saying this is wrong, but then people are telling you, well, you shouldn't be saying it in that manner.
Yeah, but hear what though? Like we're in that particular situation. It's like it's the all-American sport.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Hold on.
He went against the entire NFL. Exactly. So how are we gonna say that she went against the big people?
Do it, though?
No, wait, hold on. I'm gonna say this.
Did he do it in the same manner that she did?
No.
He basically said the same thing to everyone that told him, "You better stand up. Stand up instead of kneeling. Stand up, otherwise you're gonna be in trouble." No. And they blackballed him. But guess what? He got a bag out of it.
Yeah, He told them no. He told them why. But he didn't attack anybody.
Well, let me say this.
That's the thing. His protest was peaceful.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you. Hold on.
He had other people that came in the end and supported him, especially like you got Nike in your bag.
Exactly.
Nike doesn't like bad publicity, but if he's sitting there and he's running through it the right way, if they stand with him, it's not bad for them. They're supporting somebody's protest.
Exactly. Now, he did it properly. Versus Monique, where she's a Sagittarian, so. They tend to, when they get hot, they gonna say whatever comes to their mind, and sometimes that bites you in the butt. 8 years worth of not working, which is now why she's going to CNN and she's making a play. She needs to let people know my family's hungry over here. We're starving over here. But guess what? You did it to yourself. You should have done it a better way.
Because at the end of the day, you're still talking to the people that you want to pay you.
Exactly.
They don't have to. So, like, if you want to talk to them about stuff like that, like...
No, I want to say this. Wait, hold on, Dennis. I'm going to tell you this.
But then at the end of the day, Cap did it the quote-unquote right way, according to y'all, and he still got blackballed.
Well, Jenna, let me address it.
He's still collecting the check.
Because he sued.
Wait, hold on.
Because he sued after they blackballed him.
Hold on. Let me adjust the Kaepernick thing for a second. Wait, Dennis, hold on.
They offered him that money.
Dennis,
but Nike wasn't the person that he was looking at to pay them.
Yeah, that was the NFL.
It was the NFL.
Well, Dennis, hold on. Let me say. Wait, hold on.
At the same time, they hit him with that. He wrote out this entire situation, and they launched him with that campaign.
No, wait, hold on.
But the Nike campaign is like separate and apart from
his
entire issue.
It's separate and apart, but they made themselves a part of it. And they're not doing it for free because they are paying him now off of that. You feel me?
I completely understand what you're saying, but like I said, it's completely different. Like the entire issue was between Cap and the NFL.
Yeah.
So even if somebody else gets him, even if somebody tomorrow gets involved in the whole Monique thing, like, I mean, I'm just using an example. If Me Too picked her up tomorrow and said, "Yeah, we riding for your cause," like it's completely irrelevant to the fact that she's still being blackballed from show business.
Well, let me address the Kaepernick thing for a second, guys. While we touched on it, there's a big difference in the Kaepernick thing and the Monique thing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the NFL doesn't have a way for athletes to protest. Mm-hmm. So I think if there's one thing that was learned from the Kaepernick situation is how to protest in the NFL, and I think that's something that the NFL is probably going to be learning within this season because people are still protesting. You know, is what is good and what's not. So Cap's issue with the NFL is that they don't want him to kneel during the national anthem, right? But they technically don't have a policy that says if you do not kneel, this is what's going to happen. Or if you feel a way about any equality or any injustice, this is how you protest. Monique's situation is a little bit different because Monique knows what basis she's protesting on. She said it. She's protesting on gender bias and race bias. Colin Kaepernick thing is just standing for inequality. You know what I'm saying? On humankind in an organization that doesn't have something set. In Monique's world, she's standing on her own platform. This has nothing to do with the NFL. Like, as technically, she shouldn't even. What Lee Daniels did was saying that she was hard to work it was wrong. I want to address that. Yeah, that was wrong, right? But she already know what platform she was standing on when she said that, yo, look, these people are not paying me enough money. I needed more money. You feel me? She wasn't talking about, yes, she's talking about inequality to women. You feel what I'm saying? But she's talking about it individually to her. Because we could, if it was just inequality just to women alone, Amy Schumer would have gotten less money too.
This is why I was wondering, like, what is it that actually caused it? Because she's gonna say it's gender bias and racial bias, but if you're saying gender bias and then somebody who's a woman got paid more than you, it's not going to connect.
It doesn't connect. But it looks personal. It looks and that's the reason why I said that. And when Netflix, and the reason why I'm going to get to this part now. When Netflix was asked actually 2 days ago about the Monique situation, this is what Netflix responded: "We're still in negotiation." So Monique should have never even came out and said any of this while we're negotiating. Monique's response was like, when they basically pulled back, no one called my phone. So technically, Netflix didn't say to her, "We're not going to pay you."
They didn't say anything.
They
didn't say we're not going to pay you. They didn't say we're going to move forward. We're still, thinking about it. They didn't say anything.
They just reacted off the first offer.
Mm-hmm. She didn't play that. She didn't play ball. Yeah. As Steve Harvey said, it's a money game.
As Amy Schumer did.
Yeah.
Because she did. She came back with a rebuttal, and she
came up with a good rebuttal. She said, "I'm not as good as the legends, but I do feel I deserve some more."
And look at how humble that is.
You feel me? And she got $2 million more out of it.
Janelle, when it comes to when we're opening up our business and things like that, it's all in how in which you speak to me, how you conduct yourself in a business manner. Not saying that you're not worth it, but humble yourself, come back again and ask another time and make us say, you know what? You're right. We should put an extra $1 million on that or so. You know, it's not like you said. The first offer she gets, she immediately goes off and, oh my god, XYZ. And I think sometimes,
but let's be real, like that's like a spit in the face to say that you're worth $500,000.
It is a spit in the face, and I think in the great summary of this conversation with Monique and Amy Schumer, sometimes you gotta think about the bridges we're burning. Mm-hmm. Not saying I understand that we may not want to cross this bridge at this moment, but sometimes we can't burn these bridges. Like before the bridge, I'm gonna get step away from Netflix. Before the bridge with Lee Daniels, Oprah, and Tyler Perry was burnt, I felt like even though the bridge was on fire, there could have been parties could have came together and decide how to turn this fire down and keep these bridges rolling, which would have kept money in another revenue. Hopefully,
I agree, because they all claim that that's my brother, that's my sister. I love him, I love her. So why to get to this? No one
got their number.
No one got their number. So I can say in the great summary of the whole part of this, the whole part of that, and I think it's a lesson, because I look at this, because you see how we realize before this happened, not Amy, Lee, Oprah, Tyler, Monique, they're all great friends. They're all good friends, because I want you to understand, and I'm gonna throw this one out there. A lot of people didn't realize that Monique is the one who vouched for Lee Daniels. She's the celebrity entity behind him, who, when he was just a small director, didn't really have nobody wants to come, no big name on his movies. She was the one who came out of the woodworks, was like, you know what? I like his vision. I like where he's going with. I am working with this director, which prompted Tyler Perry to go work with him, which prompted Oprah to go work with him. So, and she also has a lot of interviews talking about how great of a director he is. So I want you to understand, these people have built each other up. And as we're all friends here, this is a good learning lesson. To me, it's a lesson in communication. Is that sometimes when stuff is not going the right way, sometimes it could be just miscommunication. If we communicate it right, sometimes these things will get fixed.
And like, if you're sitting there and you have access to a room with that many powerful people in it,
yeah,
like, who's to say that they didn't have a plan for you to begin with?
Yeah,
because if you've been out the game for a while and stuff like that, they got to build you up a certain way to basically get that clout flowing again for you. But they have to start somewhere. Because if you have Oprah that's sitting there like trying to help you out too, like that, to me, that would be the last hand. The last hand as a woman.
I agree.
Like, that would be the last hand I would bite, because the second that you sit there and you go at her, you have people that like would die for Oprah. And she's never met them in their entire lives. So the second that you go at this woman, saying with all the slander, they're gonna go with you because they got respect for her. Because then it turns it from okay, you're sitting here saying Oprah's such and such. Who are you?
Yeah.
Or if I used to watch your stuff, I thought you were funny, but you're going at
Oprah.
Well, in that, I'm going to go
Tyler Perry.
What makes no sense to me in this entire situation? All of them are friends, and all of them built each other up. But then you're not paying her what she's worth. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like me and Chanel. Like, if we were to put out a project and we assumed that it was going to make $1 million, and then it ended up making $50 million, the first thing that I'm gonna do is turn to Chanel and be like, yo, dog, we getting more money. I'm gonna pay you more. Like, I mean, obviously she don't work for me. We're partners, but you get my gist. Like, why would that be an issue?
And Janelle, I want to say this. Hold on, let me answer this. They can't do it because when the movie gets shot and sold, the person who's technically gaining all that money is Lionsgate. It's Lionsgate. It's not technically Lee Daniels. It's not Tyler Perry. It's not Oprah. When they set this budget and all this money was supposed to get spent on, it's like you offering a guy to cut your lawn. You know that there's a guy out there who cuts it pretty good for $40, but the guy who cuts it for $25 just does as good of a job.
Okay, so here's the real question: who's the one that decides who gets paid what?
Who gets paid what? Well, that's negotiation.
Would that be Lionsgate?
Lionsgate. Okay. Yes. So that's where the negotiation comes in.
Okay, so if it's Lionsgate,
yes,
then what does that have to do with the other three?
Yeah, well,
exclusive producers.
Yes,
exclusive producers, but are they the ones that pay her, or are they just involved in the project?
they're the ones that's saying, "Hey, we need this. We can offer her this."
Yes.
So they could say we can offer her this.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, if Lionsgate says no,
yes. But then I want you to understand this negotiation was made. Negotiation for your project is made before the movie is shot. You don't get paid after the movie is shot.
You don't know this movie's about to make.
So you don't know how much money the movie's gonna make. They pay you, and then you do your promotional run. It's like Michael B. Jordan and Black Panther. If they would have known Black Panther would have did all these hundreds of millions of dollars, I guarantee everybody in the cast would have.
A better story. Little Rail from what was the movie? The
Get
scary. Out. Yeah, Get Out. Right. He didn't take money up front. He took points after. So know he rolling.
Yeah, he's smart. So he So no, and I mean no, that's not even that. Yeah, but what he did was it's like 50 Cent with Vitamins Water when Shaq and all of them did Vitamin Water in the beginning. They all took $100,000 up front, right? 50 was like, I don't want $100,000. I want percentage of the Vitamin Water. They looked they want stocks, and they looked at him was like, well, Vitamin Water is not even big right. And he's like, I don't care. I want stocks. Then Vitamin Water blew up. Then Shaq and everybody was like, well, I want more money. Well, you negotiate $100,000, Shaq. And then Shaq shut up, went his way. 50, rossed up. 50 made what? I think like $30 million off of it.
I don't know.
50 is an incredible businessman. I can't stand the guy, but he's an incredible businessman.
But I mean, I want to say this. In these business adventures, we learn certain things. So I'm going to say Monique didn't do anything wrong. For her being blackballed the way she was completely wrong. I want to make sure I said that completely. She should have never been blackballed.
To Dennis's point too, like they were all friends. If there was a plan behind it and they wanted to build her up in a certain way, why wasn't this discussed? Like y'all are friends.
Well,
we have a plan. This is what you're gonna do, and then if you do this, then you'll get bigger. And
I want to say this.
At
the same time, it could have been one of those situations that was discussed.
Hold on.
The whole Tyrese situation when he was going through his whole thing,
the meltdown.
The whole meltdown, and he's like, oh. And Jay-Z and, or what was it? Will and Jada were going to give me, this money to help me out and blah, blah. That's background stuff. They probably had a background conversation with her.
I'm going to tell you.
We can only speak on what we know.
No, I'm going to speak on. So this, according to Tyler Perry, right? He's like, since Monique has been married to her husband, she's no longer, she has not been a part of her negotiations anymore. The only person who does her negotiation is her husband.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
So they don't see her.
They don't talk to Monique.
Okay, so then that becomes a problem in itself.
No, as a friend, they spoke with her, but on business terms, anything that requires contracting or money, they said Monique doesn't talk to that. The only person who has those conversations is her husband because he's her management.
So there's the breakdown in communication.
Yes. Hold on, Dennis. In the retrospect, that's what Steve Harvey said. That's why he said your husband can't be the husband you technically want him to be. He can't be that gangster
his name is Lenny, right?
Yeah, Lenny can't be the gangster in the street and be the businessman that you need him to be. Like you need, and I'm gonna say this.
And the way in which he imply it is as if he's going into these meetings, kind of like aggressive.
I feel like that's what Steve was trying to put. I'm trying to tell you, but low key,
your husband is kind of
your husband's messing up your bag. Yeah,
you feel me? So wait, guys,
because if you sit there, you're friends with all of these people or whatever. They don't want to see him. They want to see you. Because if we're like, you know what, we're gonna run you this favor. We're not going to talk to your dude about running you.
That's true. That's true.
Talk to you.
But that's true.
Like, if the situation comes back and this is what happens, and your boy is over there coming back with, oh, you won't guess what happened over there, and blah. They told me this, and this. Instead of you being in the room to hear it yourself, you don't know what happened.
And I'm happy you said that.
Caused an entire situation, and then brought that situation back to her.
Yeah,
she got spoon fed that and flipped out.
So hold on, then I'm happy you said that. So this is what when Tyler Perry caught wind of the whole situation and he understand what Monique is feeling, he asked if he could speak with Monique and her husband at the same time. I want to make sure I said that
to avoid any confusion.
Any confusion. And this is what he said to Monique: since you're so salty about the situation, whatever donations that he's received from the Precious film, he will give it to her. Because he just didn't understand what the miscommunication was. He thought that she knew what she was going to get paid, what she signed up for. So that's what she got. You feel me? And so basically, when her husband did her negotiation,
he signed on the dotted line for
that 50 grand. You know what you guys signed up for.
So where's the blame? Where's the blame lie?
And that's what it is. Now I want to say one small part. I want to bring this in. The contract didn't say anything about her doing any promotion, right? But I'm gonna say this: as a coworker, as a worker, sometimes we ask to do things we technically don't really like to do, but we have to do it. Exactly. We have a thing at work where we call 5Sing. How many people you can say you know 5S the area?
That's not much.
All right. So I'm happy. I'm happy you laugh, Trevor. No, Trevor, in my area, right? I 5S my area twice a day.
Nice.
You feel what I'm saying? But the reason why I do it because what I do is on the front line, and I get all these walkthroughs. So I 5S consistently. So nobody, whenever their tour comes around, there's one thing they can always say: yo, my dude right here, area's all the big man. I wouldn't even call him name. You feel what I'm saying? Told me that's one of the things he likes coming to my area and seeing is that it always looks nice and organized. You feel me? That's something that's considered going over and beyond. Now at work, they have a thing called 5S Tuesday, which they're trying to say you're supposed to be doing this once a week. Even if you ain't doing it every day, which the rule is supposed to be doing it every day, at least one day you're doing it. Sometimes, guys, you may have to take a little bit of licking to get this road ticking. Now, I want to go ahead and wrap up this. I wrap up this. Well, sometimes you have to take a little bit. It's an old saying.
It's like a meeting.
Got into a teleporter. Right up in 1942.
When I say my whole thought process just stopped.
Everybody was looking at him like, what?
No, well, it's a very old saying, John. Yeah, it's old saying. You got to take a little bit of licking so you can keep on
licking
ticking.
as in beaten.
Is in beaten. You feel me? Sometimes you may have to do. And I'm not.
Me on the second wave.
And sometimes we're not gonna say like my dude, the king for Andy from Fire. We're not taking it to go that far.
Wow.
Yeah, sure. I want to throw that one in there. All right. We're not going to get as bad as Andy, but sometimes, bro, your job may consist of you doing something that you may not want to do. It's like Janelle's a lawyer. She may not want to fly to Canada because it's freezing right now, but she laughs because a client may call and be like, yo, well, Janelle, we're gonna need you to fly out here. You're like, well, I don't really like the cold, but to get this money or to get this work, get this money, I'm gonna come out there and do it.
You gotta do that groundwork.
You gotta do that groundwork.
Like,
exactly.
That's the way that I feel about it. Regardless of what type of name that you have, if you're not relevant right now, you still gotta put in that groundwork to get back up on that.
And guess what, though? Even though you may not be getting the reward that you think you're gonna get now,
yes.
It will go towards it.
I'm just saying that if I fly to Canada, I'm gonna get a bag out of it. Like, I'm not doing nothing for free. That's all I'm saying.
No, Janelle, before I get to the positive, wait, hold on. Before I get to the positive thought,
can I say a positive thought?
You just said
What?
Say it again.
Okay,
Coming back with a kid.
What you said, Chanel?
It's not time for the positive thought. We're gonna get there,
sir.
Yeah.
You said he's going to fly to Canada and come back with a kid.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I said a bag. Sir, my time is money, sir.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of beautiful people out
No,
there.
Janelle, hold on. I want to say this one part. Actresses and actors do stuff. Wait, hold on. I want to say this. For a second. Actors and actresses do major projects worth tens of millions of dollars and comes out with no accolade. Monique did Precious for $50,000 and came out with an Oscar. Not even just a nominee. She came out with an Oscar. Did I say right, Trevor?
Yeah, but only thing I was going to say with that, okay, I went to school that did a lot of art, right? Yes. I looked at this instructor's badge. He's a Grammy Award-winning engineer.
Yeah.
Where is he? At the school. Teaching, making maybe $40,000 a year, right? Those accolades don't matter. Those are opinionated accolades.
Good, so thank you.
Don't hold them as, oh, she's an Oscar award winning. Oh, he's a Grammy award winning.
Or he's a gold medalist on Olympics.
It's all what matters.
Gold star.
Yeah. What all that matters is what happens behind closed doors. Who he or she was networking with. That's how they get their millions.
And
that's facts in any profession.
Exactly.
Yes.
Who you know, not what you know.
Exactly. And not only that, but who you continue to keep those communications relevant, keep those lines open, and not necessarily tell them to SMD you just because they didn't tell you something. something that you didn't like to hear. You know, we should definitely all learn from this and know that you need to use your words very, very wisely.
So Chanel, based on you saying that, well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. You want to leave us with a positive thought of the day?
Yes.
You're giving us our ratchet one.
It's the one that my...
It says two of y'all.
Yeah. Yep. You're going to give us a positive. You're going to give us a
rock, paper, scissors for the good one.
Yeah.
And the other one do the other one.
Well, I got with a good one already.
Chanel, so she got the positive
Let her
thought.
take that from you?
What?
You gonna let her take the
My
good one?
God, Dennis, I gotta wrap it up.
So this is one that my dad always said, and it is
Long throw, short catch.
No.
Long sleeve, short sleeve.
Never burn your
Count your
bridge.
lucky stars.
You better count your lucky star.
All right, go to positive word. Big
It is definitely never burn your bridges down. You never know when you may have to cross back over them. So I let that one sink in right there.
Yes. Janelle, you have the ratchet thoughts for us of the week.
Why nobody told me this? Like I didn't come prepared for this.
No, because it's the ratchet is always fun. It's better when you think it up because you just never think it's hard.
I feel like this entire conversation has just centered on Cardi.
All right.
I don't really need a day. I need the money. Dinero. That's all I'm saying.
All right, yo, guys.
That's money.
That's the money.
That's qualified.
That's qualified. So I'm gonna say this. I want to thank NelleXNelly for coming out and joining us on the One Pot Podcast.
Thank you for having us, guys.
Thank you for having us. It has been such a great experience.
I know we was talking for 2 hours. Like,
yes,
we could just talk though. I mean, we're all friends.
Yes,
check us out on the
podcast live.
Pod.
You know, so definitely, this guys, just so you know, this episode will be on the NelleXNelly's YouTube channel. So for anybody who wants to go ahead and take a look, please go ahead and take this look.
That is NelleXNelly, NelleXNelly on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. Although we don't really use our Twitter, don't kill us. On Facebook, just everywhere. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Give me your personal IG.
Hit the YouTube, people.
There you go. All right, guys. One Pod Podcast, episode 38. We out. Peace.
Easy time.